What is good, chat? How we doing today? First things first, let's go ahead and one in the chat to make sure we can hear the audio. All right, I'm gonna turn down my music slightly as we get our ducks in a row here. Let me know if y'all can hear this, because this is gonna be a show, guys. This conservative grift that we're seeing happen in the Manosphere, I just have to honestly say it is absolutely just unapologetically shameless what I'm seeing coming out from a lot of these Manosphere leaders who are, it almost seems like they're taking a contrarian view on some of the things that we see going on right now. So we're gonna break that down, because realistically, Monday's episode, we weren't even gonna talk about Angry Man until one of y'all sent me this video, and I was just like, you know what? Why the fuck not? I mean, why not? I mean, why not just cover it? And this has to do with the whole Steven Crowder, the Candace Owens, the Just Pearly Griswold, mainly just the Steven Crowder situation right now that we're going in. And Angry Man had just an insane take as usual, which is what we have to cover today, folks, because honestly, what I am seeing out of this whole Steven Crowder mess, with a lot of the stuff that's coming out of the guys who are following this stuff, it's actually becoming a little concerning, if anything else, guys. I don't know if you guys are concerned, but I am definitely concerned on what is going on with this whole shebang, all right? It's definitely weird the kind of takes a lot of these men and women apparently are actually having on this when they view the whole Steven Crowder controversy that's been going on, all right? And for those of you guys don't know about the whole Steven Crowder situation, we about to cover that, because I think it's time for a little bit of a refresher, all right? But just a smidge of a summary is basically, it was a video that came out that sparked a huge backlash against Steven Crowder, and basically it was shown in the video how kind of verbally and potentially emotionally abusive this guy really was to his wife, all right? Then pregnant wife, mind you, she was pregnant with twins at 8 months. And in the video, you can see him demanding a couple things, where he was having her, trying to get her to take the dog out for a walk, and this dog is apparently sick. It has issues, okay? It got health issues, and there's a pill that it's got to take, but that pill could be potentially harmful to the woman who's currently pregnant, because as we know, your immune system as a woman isn't going to be 100% if you're carrying twins. And matter of fact, your overall health isn't going to be 100%, because if you eat, you're eating for 3. If you drink water, you're drinking for 3. All right. If you move, you exercise, you breathe, you're breathing for 3. Why? Because there's you and those 2 babies inside of you. But one thing you got to understand, when we hear a lot of these kind of back points that we see from the Manosphere, it's actually a little bit concerning because they take a couple cues from that video that they watched. And, well, first things first, they'll say, oh, how can you base a relationship based off a video you just watched? We don't know the full story, as they proceed to go ahead and give you their opinion based off the video they just watched. And here's what their opinion is. Their opinion is basically, it boils down to a couple things, right? The posture of the woman. Yes, they thought that the optics of this was actually manufactured by the woman herself as an elaborate four-dimensional chess setup that was going to catch Steven Crowder up on this whole mess live, right? And what I mean by that is basically they saw the fact that she wore a black shirt with her shirt kind of over her belly, right? And the fact that she was barefooted and standing over Steven Crowder, right? Matter of fact, a lot of guys think that the fact that she was standing over Steven Crowder meant that she was being aggressive. Yo, I can't with y'all niggas. I cannot with you people, bruh. It's insane. So they're boiling it down to these couple points with the Ring camera. They're boiling it down to the woman and her putting her stomach, her shirt over her stomach, right? They're boiling it down to her being barefooted, negating the fact that Steven Crowder was also wearing socks. I mean, it's their patio. She can be barefooted. She cannot be barefooted. It is what the hell it is. So they're basing it on a couple of these points that basically convinces them that no, people, we got it wrong. Matter of fact, we are simps for even just looking at the video and calling Steven Crowder out for it. Matter of fact, we are simps for not seeing the elaborate setup for what it actually was. And that elaborate setup was basically that the woman wanted this divorce and she wanted to clean him out, and she set this video up intentionally to basically, get a, brownie points or with the media, whatever the hell it is, right? So, guys, I just have to say this. I gotta break down a couple things here for you, all right? First things first, we're gonna analyze that video again so you guys can get a clear view of what's going on, but this time, we're not gonna analyze it with good old me, all right? Apparently, we're gonna take an expert's word for it, all right? Because there was a body language expert that actually analyzed the entire video, and we're gonna go over it. And on top of that, before we even get into Angry Man's conversation about this whole topic, we're also going to analyze the entire backstory behind the Candace Owens and Steven Crowder going at it, because I think to understand what's going on and why these guys are coming up with these bogus theories they're coming up with, we have to understand the backstory and what is going on. All right, and further and lastly, it leads me to this point, and this point is Angry Man's take on it, because I just found it completely ridiculous. It's like, it basically, it leads me to question a couple things, right? And one of the things that leads me to question Angry Man is, one, have you been in a relationship? And two, have you ever gotten a woman pregnant? Do you have kids? I'm just gonna leave it at those two questions alone, because the answer to those questions are gonna tell me everything I need to know. And by the way, after watching this, you're gonna figure out maybe Angry Man probably isn't the eligible bachelor you ladies are looking for, all right? And on top of that, some of the crap he's teaching these guys, it probably isn't worth listening to. And it's not saying that as like, I mean, he might take this as a disrespect. It's no disrespect, because I mean, every time we play back this nigga's words, it just doesn't sound good. Like, to him, it's making sense, but it doesn't sound good when you actually hear it out loud. And I don't know what his followers are hearing when they listen to him talk, but it's just one of those things is, why is it anyone calling him out on this? Like, why is anyone saying, hey, buddy, you're kind of wrong there, all right? Some of your opinions basically say the fact that she was being threatening by standing over him. How could a barefoot 8-month pregnant woman with twins be threatening to a guy who's over 6 feet, makes $20 million, and is sitting there smoking a cigar despite having chest surgery at that point? I don't know how you could be threatening to that, but we're going to cover that as well. We got our first super chat of the night. Francois, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. He says, did you hear about that Aiden Ross is DMCA strikes a bunch of channels? When did this happen? I didn't figure. Wait, when? I thought he was off of YouTube. Is he off of YouTube, or what? I didn't know he was. I thought he was with Kick and all those other guys. I didn't know he was over here filing DMCA strikes, but I'm not going to be surprised. He's a 25-year-old kid that just got $150 million with Kick to go ahead and stream Nazi propaganda. So why not? Why not go ahead and silence dissenting voices? I mean, people like that are used to that. I mean, just saying. I mean, and this guy, by the way, is Jewish. So make it make sense. A Jewish guy who hates himself by agreeing with Nick Fuentes, who doesn't like Jews, who also is a self-proclaimed racist and anti-Semite. The internet is truly crazy, folks. Sometimes you just got to get off of it for a while and just go out, breathe some fresh air, probably kick some soccer balls or something like that, and just relax, okay? Because when you stay into this mix so long, you start to go crazy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this initial video of this body language expert, and then we're gonna dive on in. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me know how the audio is. Ooh, no, not this one. Let's see. We want to share. Oh, I wouldn't share the audio. Let's do right here. Perfect. All right, let me know if you can hear the audio, all right?
Political commentator Steven Crowder gaslighting his wife Hillary has gone viral on Twitter. I'm going to point out all the manipulative red flags, but most importantly, I will also address both sides of the story.
The only way out of this is discipline and respect.
But Steven, he's sick.
Watch it.
He's sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
This video is going to be divided in two parts. First, I'm going to analyze what can we see and hear from both Crowder and his wife. And then in the second part, I'm going to lay out all the circumstances surrounding this encounter, including her pregnancy and his health conditions. By the end of this video, you will learn to spot these red flags no matter if they come from men or women, and also have a better idea of what was going on with this couple so you can come to the best informed conclusion regarding this behavior. Hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas.
Thank you.
Refusing to do wifely things.
No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking.
The first red flag that caught my attention was when he implies the consequences of refusing to do wifely things.
No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
He is implying that picking up the groceries is a wifely thing, when picking up the groceries is not something that requires a label, but manipulators love to label people. In this case, the condescending tone, which is prevalent over the whole exchange, is another red flag for gaslighting. What about...
And he's right. And he's, what this guy's doing, let me know if you guys can hear this, by the way. He's putting into words basically what we're all thinking when we watch that video. When we watch the video, it's like, listen, this guy is not only consistently gaslighting this woman, but on top of that, look at the kind of tactics he's using to like basically flip it on her and make it seem like it's her fault that all this stuff is going on, right? And on top of that, look at how he twists and manipulates the situation, right? The way he manipulates the situation is saying, well, wifely duties, you know, go take out the groceries, go do this, right? Listen, I do groceries. Is that a wifely duty? Am I doing something meant for wives? Like, what's up with that, right? I mean, people who are single right now do groceries. Is that considered wifely duties? I'm so confused of what this man means by wifely duties. And you see the same kind of labels being placed used in the manosphere against women, right? Oh, well, you have to cook and clean and do this. You got to do this and do that and do this, right? And it's all these different labels. And here's the thing, on paper, it does sound great, right? Where division of labor works. The man goes out, brings home the bacon, the woman takes care of the household. But the thing is, when you bring that piece of paper to reality, the reality looks a little bit different, all right? And the difference is people are kind of, like, they flow. All right, in one circumstance, maybe you might be doing the groceries as a man, and you might be going around doing the cleaning and the chores. And in the other instance, she might be doing those chores and she might be doing the groceries and those things like that, right? The household in modern 21st century, it looks different from the traditionalist view or worldview that a lot of these guys are trying to push on the rest of us now, okay? So it just doesn't work 100% of the time. But again, all right, if you're looking at the manosphere, some of these guys, they're gonna tell you, well, dude, the fact that we have to do groceries as men, all right, or clean up while our wife is 8 months pregnant, you're a simp. That's what it means. You're simping for this woman. That's right. There's no other way to explain it but you being a simp. I think that simp word is kind of overused at this point. Like, it really doesn't make any freaking sense because realistically, I think you're the one who's kind of a loser for even thinking doing something for your 8-month pregnant wife with twins, all right, taking care of her. You believe that's simpish behavior. I think you need to reevaluate your life choices and your life decisions, not anyone over here, because we based in reality when we see that nonsense. You guys are not. Let's continue.
About having just one car.
No, you're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You are not
then I
taking
will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not correct, Stephen.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Stephen, I can't.
Yeah, it's odd that Crowther, having that kind of money, has only one car. But now that I think of it, it sets up perfectly his self-victimization if she dares to take it.
You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
Yes, he makes her feel guilty. Think of how boxed in you make me. And I'm sure you noticed that she said, I will ask someone to pick me up. Who would you like me to ask? Yeah, it could be a bit of sarcasm, but it's also something that someone who is used to be controlled would say. And when we talk about control, when a manipulator has reached a certain level of control over their victims, they can allow themselves to say things like this.
The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, and we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because he's here.
There it is. And I said that the first time we reacted to this video, the signs are there. This guy is controlling. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? But if you, some of these guys in the Manosphere, like Angry Man, they'll sit there and tell you, well, no, okay. The woman, she just wanted to take the car and leave him. All right, the man, he needed, what if she left him stranded? Then what? All right, and you can't just leave him hanging like that. You got to. And this woman, clearly, look at her. Look at her. She's walking in here barefooted, and she's standing over there with her belly hanging out. She's clearly gaslighting this guy with her presence. Some of these other guys would say, well, how do we know it's not really even controlling? I don't know why you guys are even calling it controlling or manipulative. There's nothing manipulative here. He's simply asking his wife to do a simple task, and she is gaslighting him right now. I don't think a lot of you guys are used to verbal warfare, and it shows because a lot of you guys listen to bozos in the Manosphere who verbally abuse you guys on a daily, but some of y'all still subscribe and pay them all that money to just get your ass spanked verbally, which is crazy to me. But a lot of the people don't obviously understand that verbal abuse and emotional abuse are a thing. And this guy is pointing that out clear as day, right? Basically saying, do not take the car or else, right? And then his little, obviously he's not retaliating with physical threats or anything like that, but the implication that he's making, it's a completely different story. Right, and just like this guy says, it's indicative of someone who's used to behaving that way with their women, someone who's comfortable with that level of manipulation. What does that mean? To even get to that level of being comfortable, that means this has been a staple in their relationship for a very long time. This isn't something that just came out of nowhere. This is something that just happened, all right? This is something he's been doing tactically since probably they've been in a relationship together, and she's just been used to it. That's what it tells a bunch of reasonable people who are living in the real world. But a lot of people who are in the Manosphere, they see her just standing up like this. They see her being barefooted, and they're saying, well, it's her fault, clearly. I mean, she's clearly, obviously gaslighting this guy. Y'all got to wake up.
Can't have any discipline.
Yeah.
See, if you don't do as I say, you're lacking discipline and respect. You are the problem in this relationship. Manipulators have this amazing ability to turn the blame on you. And if you complain, this is what happens.
Yeah, there you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
You give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse, okay?
If you don't show discipline and respect, then I quote, you throw your hat. You give up so easily. Again, he's blaming her for the situation. And the situation escalates to a literal threat.
I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Watch it.
Toxic personalities don't like to be called out on their behavior. Typically, this is when things can get physical. Luckily, this was not the case as far as we know. So if you go just a bit off the rails, they are going to hurt you. Watch this exchange.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. You need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you, and the fact that
He says quite literally, I don't love you. I've never received love from you. This is a combination of hurting and guilt tripping at the same time, saying to their faces that whatever they have done so far, it has not been enough. Then he starts mocking her.
is when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D. You just be disciplined about it. You go, no, but I love you more than life itself. Okay, put on some gloves. No, but I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous.
And the way he's berating her right now, all right, it's basically, this is not how adults have conversations with each other. All right, this is how a tyrant has conversations with someone they don't even deem as an equal. You understand that, right? So that's what it is. He's talking to her as if she's some kind of petulant child, right? Just relax, okay? Even doing the little thing with his voice, right? Oh, I don't want to do that, but I love you. I don't want to do that, right? Him even just mimicking her and mocking her in that way, that's a subtle beration. That's what he's doing. He's putting her down. If you guys can't clearly see these manipulative tactics for what it is, the Manosphere has a big problem because it means a lot of guys who are in this space are perfectly okay with treating women this way. And you guys are wondering why you're coming to these spaces confused, angry, blaming women about your issues. You're not clearly seeing the clear signs of abuse this guy's facing. What that tells me, a lot of people who are following this shit and thinking that there's nothing wrong with this video, if you are thinking that, that means that you are probably, there's probably something about you that performs these types of behaviors. And you haven't done any self-reflection whatsoever to even solve the root cause of why your relationship fell apart if you agree with situations like this, or you don't see the clear problem for what this is, all right? And a lot of the stuff that you're talking about in this space regarding the women, you don't even need to be talking about that right now until you work on yourself and recognize signs of manipulators, verbal and emotional abusers. That's a real thing.
He was talking about gloves because their dogs were taking medications that are potentially harmful for pregnant women just on contact. Something that I have a hard time understanding, how a man forces his wife to risk his own unborn children like that. Crowder also has the money to hire one nanny for each dog, so why doesn't he do that? Again, mocking her answers and using her words that she...
Steven Crowder is estimated to be worth approximately $20 million. $20 million can go a long way. Let's even say let's just say $15 million. Let's just throw it that way. That's a lot of money. You're telling me you can't hire a dog nanny for $15 million? You can't buy your second car for $15 million? You're telling me that? You're worth $15 million. You got to pull back there. You're telling me you can't afford a second car? Bruh. Bruh, come on now.
She loves him against her is a classic form of gaslighting. He goes as far as to say that it's not fair for him. And of course, forcing her to do something potentially harmful for their unborn children is another form of control. A very sick form of control because there's absolutely no need for her to do that. In fact, later in the video, he doubles down on that guilt tripping.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you.
The guilt tripping is another technique to put you in a situation of damn if you do, damn if you don't.
And this is what I was talking about too, because there's always that little guilt trip, right? How is this going to affect me? I can't go see my friend. I can't go to this. I live my life by the second. You're worth $20 million. You're worth $20 million. Let her have the damn car and go buy a new one. Hell, you could go buy a new one that day. If you really want to. Go put 5 bands down on a freaking Land Rover. You'll be signed. Pistachios and Popcorn says, dog nanny? Come on now. What do you mean, come on now? You know how much dog nannies make? Dog nannies be making bank, bro. That's a legitimate business. That is a legitimate industry. People who walk dogs, people who babysit dogs, people who run dog parks, That's a lucrative industry, and it's only gonna grow the more people have pets, because we're replacing pets for husbands, pets for wives, and pets for children. So America is gonna be buying a ton of freaking pets, and when you have people, at least the masses, moving into a new industry, guess what? There's gonna be competition and market, right? They're gonna rise to meet whatever demands are. So if there's gonna be a bunch of dogs, you're gonna have people who are building groomers. They're gonna be more veterinary hospitals. You're gonna have more dog nannies, dog sitters, dog walkers. It's a big industry. You tell me there are even apps to find you a dog walker right now, and you pay him $15. You're telling me a guy who's worth $20 million can't do that? What do you mean, come on now? You got to be serious. Let's bring everything down to reality right now. Let's be serious, all right? There are people who are single right now. They hire dog walkers who are part of this industry, all right? What's wrong with doing any of that? See, a lot of y'all don't understand what compromise is when it comes down to a relationship. The Manosphere has taught you that when you're in a relationship, it has to be a zero-sum game. You have to be dominant and in charge, because the moment she gets power, you lose, and it's the end for your relationship. What you guys don't realize, though, is the fact that you keep that zero-sum game mentality with zero compromise or zero conversations to be able to have, you're actually participating in a behavior that will have the woman leave you in the end. At the end of the day, she will end up leaving you. These aren't tools these guys are teaching you to stay in fruitful long-term relationships. Relationships, it's about compromise, especially when you're in it for the long haul. It's about compromise. And a lot of you men out there, you're gonna get older. And if you don't learn these skills on how to compromise on certain things, you will die alone. The stats are already against us, whether it's by choice or it's not by choice. There are going to be a lot more lonely men out there. We're sitting here laughing at the women. Oh, y'all are going to hit the wall. Yeah. What about us? A lot of us is going to be more single guys out there, either by choice or not by choice, and whether they're incels. There's going to be a lot of you guys out there. So what about the guys who eventually want to get into that relationship? Do you even think you're going to have the skills to keep a woman? No. What do you think is going to happen to you? You're going to buy a dog. And if you can't afford them nannies, you're going to die alone. It happens to everybody. Death comes for everybody. Well, death, taxes, and the interest man. Because everybody pays interest rates. You can't escape interest rates, bro. That's pretty much a guarantee in life. 3 guarantees. You're going to die, you're going to pay taxes, and you're going to pay interest rates at some point in your life.
You say you're committed to a relationship, they will guilt trip you into doing something nonsensical that could harm you or your children. And we got more condescending tone.
Hillary, you're right in that. Become someone that's unique, day in and day out, worthy of a wife.
It's not just the condescending tone, but also he is implying that she is not worthy, or she is worthless, in other words. He said it himself, and that is exactly how a manipulator wants his victim to feel, worthless. Because in the long run, that's how they become emotional slaves. Now, I'm sure there are going to be many fans of Steven Crowder watching this video.
So we got them. They're all over the Manosphere.
Straight and talk about the circumstances of what was going on with their lives, especially Crowder's health surrounding this situation. But I want to make this absolutely clear. I don't condone gaslighting or manipulation or mistreating coming from either men or women. That is simply unacceptable, and nobody has to put up with that. If you're experiencing this kind of red flags, the best you can do is to figure out who is the real person you fell in love with. But let's talk about Crowder's health at that moment. The timestamp marks June 2021, so Hillary was almost 8 months pregnant. But at the same time, Crowder was about to get corrective surgery for pectum excavatum, which is a condition in which his sternum is bent inwards into the chest cavity and can give you both cardiovascular and respiratory problems. Now, Crowder himself says in the video that this kind of surgery takes anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks to recover, which for anyone who creates content on the internet, it's an eternity. So he was going to take advantage of the couple weeks off he usually takes in the summer of every year for recovery. So that might be one of the reasons he decided to have this surgery so close to the end of his wife's pregnancy. But he would still be 4 weeks short of the bare minimum for a full recovery and to come back to his day-to-day activities. He even assured his fans that he had taped a few episodes in advance so he could upload a few times during that period. Now, you might be asking, okay, he was stressed about the whole situation. Why didn't he just take the time off? Isn't he a YouTuber? He doesn't have any boss or anything. But the fact is that YouTubers at this level have sponsors and contracts that make it real hard to just disappear for months. In fact, for any content creator, it would be stressful to disappear for a couple of weeks. Again, this does not justify Crowder's behavior to his wife, but I thought that it was relevant to understand the circumstances of this case. What happened next is that the stress of the situation, rushing things to come back and keep pushing content, produced serious problems in his lungs. But of course, all this was
serious problems to his lungs while he's smoking a cigar. Does this guy actually care about his own health? Serious problems to his lungs and he's smoking a cigar. At this point, he's endangering the both of them. That's what I see here. If his heart condition or lung condition was as serious as it is, why is he smoking a cigar? Which is way more dangerous to you than actual cigarettes. All right, just saying. None of this is making any sense to me. None of this is making any sense to me. And this is around the time where this guy didn't even show up for his kid's birth. Oh, my lungs hurt. And here he is smoking a cigar. Make it make sense. And none of this makes any kind of sense. This guy is possessive and controlling. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If his lungs really mattered, he'd be living a healthier lifestyle right now. Enough with the cigars. It doesn't make you look any manlier than what you are. All right? It doesn't make you look cool. You're going to die of cancer someday. And it's serious. Hell, the air you're breathing right now is going to give you cancer. Why would you add to that? I mean, Jesus Christ, bro.
Was at least 1 month after the video you just saw. Again, I am not mentioning any of this to justify his behavior. I'm just setting the record straight about the circumstances because I know some people are going to jump straight to the comments and claim that this is normal behavior under stress. It is not. My conclusion is that this is never the way to treat your spouse, regardless of what you are going through. And there's something that all men should have, which are resilience and stoicism. And yes, we have to work them out. They don't come out of nowhere. I am not saying that one cannot feel stress or frustration or angst or dread for something that's happening or about to happen. But men must have the emotional maturity to understand our own situation and sublimate it so we don't vent that frustration or fear on our loved ones.
Boom! I'm gonna cut his video right there because he makes a whole lot of sense. We preach stoicism in the Manosphere all the goddamn time, but for some reason, it's a little bit different when it's the man at fault not showing that stoicism, not showing that resilience that we teach here in this space, right? And a lot of you guys get mad at me because I tell y'all, listen, arguing with women is not a good idea. Matter of fact, I don't recommend men should be out there arguing with women left and right because it frankly just looks silly. When you allow yourself to get emotionally at the same level as your woman is, there is no compromise. There is no conversation. Someone has to be level-headed to lead the conversation, and it has to be you, if not her. If she's getting emotional and she realizes she can trigger you to get to that point, there's no one in the lead here. So how can she even trust you? That whole being a rock, being that immovable object, it's gone. In the back of her mind, she may not be thinking this consciously, but in the back of her mind, she's like, hey, wait a minute. If I could throw this man off his square like this, and it's that easy, what else can knock him off his square? Hell, even if we run into financial issues, that might knock him off his square. A lot of this stuff, believe it or not, adds up. Image is everything. So when I tell you, don't argue with women, it's not because I'm being sexist. It's not because I'm being a simp. It's not because I'm being ridiculous. It's because you are playing a game of optics here. And if you lose that battle, your respect is gone. There's a whole reason why he's sitting there asking for discipline, asking for respect. Who respects that? When it's so easy to trick you, how do you respect that? A lot of these guys, you notice it's the same pattern. Respect me. Why don't women respect me? Yeah, they spend like 5 hours talking about women alone. What's respectable about that? There's nothing respectable about that. Y'all are here bitching on the internet, being emotional and whining. But in reality, You don't realize that your very same behaviors are what's causing you to be single. It's what's causing you to lose respect of your woman. You don't always have to fight fire with fire. Sometimes just pour some water on it. Just let it simmer down. That's just all you gotta do. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into Angry Man's take, okay? Because this is about to be hilarious as hell.
Game. A woman will receive monthly payment while still working, equal freedom, independence, and men paying them. Women see men no longer marrying, so it's a feminist threat to empower women. Trend. I think he meant trend. It's a feminist trend to empower women. Yeah, now watch this. Listen to the music behind this video. Watch this.
So the initial video he plays was actually from TikTok. Just to give you guys a little background story.
So I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did. I drew a boundary of music and rule. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries. There's no disrespect. I have steaks. What pellets? My grill. I don't tell you.
Hear that goofiness? They literally took the video and put some sad music behind it.
Angry Man. Whether you put sad music behind it or no music behind it, Steven's Crowder behavior to his 8-month pregnant wife with twins was still unacceptable. If his own fans aren't even fucking with him like that, why is the manosphere, particularly the black manosphere, on his nuts? I don't see you giving black men this level of grace. I don't even see you giving black women the same level of grace. But when it comes to Pearl and Steven Crowder, two far right-wingers that don't even believe in shit that would even help you as a black man, you're sitting here just, yeah, you know what? You hear that music? They're obviously trying to make him look bad. Bruh, come on!
Somebody said, Steven Crowder exclusive ring video. Watch this. Watch this.
Is emotionally abusive behavior.
Look at this. Look what it says. It says Steven Crowder exclusive ring camera video footage leak. Warning, hard to watch. Let me ask you guys this question. Those of you that saw this video, was it hard to watch?
Yeah, it's pretty freaking difficult, bruh.
Press 1 if you saw the video. Press 1 if you saw the video. Let me tell you something. I seen a video that was hard to watch.
Okay, tell us.
I seen a video that was hard to watch. The video I saw that was hard to watch. You know those big lizards, like what is it called? A monitor lizard or a kimono dragon, whatever you call them big lizards. You know the big lizards, that be walking around. I seen one eat a baby goat, swallowed him whole. Now, I don't know what was disturbing the most about that video. I think it's because when a baby goat is yelling, it kind of sounds like a person. And I think that's what freaked me out.
Huh? Jesus Christ. This is what I love and actually kind of clown about Angry Man, right? He has these I wouldn't even say parables, but these examples he uses that to him, you could tell. Look at his face. He is very proud of this. He is very proud of this example he just gave you guys right now. Does it make sense? No, because what does a pregnant woman have to compare with a giant lizard eating a baby goat? I don't get it, okay? Those are two different things. On one hand, you're seeing nature. On the other hand, you're seeing the lack of nurture, all right? There's a big difference, all right? Steven Crowder is not taking care of a vulnerable woman. And what I mean by a vulnerable woman is not to say, oh, Duke, you're simping for the woman or whatever it is. No, any species in the animal kingdom that becomes pregnant, all right, they already know they're in a vulnerable position. That's why they nest, they build burrows, they hide out in caves. If you're a bear, right, they get very, very aggressive because they know they are at the weakest point in their lives right now when they're giving birth to the next generation of bears, lizards, or whatever, humans, right? So when you're in a vulnerable spot, some species, the male species, will protect the female species. You see this a lot of times with birds, right? Male and female birds. In the animal kingdom, this happens. When you bring it down to the human kingdom, all right, when we talk about humans, we have the ability to be able to protect for our wives and things like that. So when you see a case of Steven Crowder not even living up to that standard, knowing fully well he has the means to provide and protect, and you see a clear sign of him not doing that, clearly you have to have an issue with that. Because not only does it go against nature, it really goes against everything he preaches about. Because this is one of these Christian conservatives, oh, we got to live a traditional life and wife and all that fun stuff, right? And here he is preaching one thing on the internet, but then we get a glimpse into his life and he's a total dickbag. What do you say to that? You call him a hypocrite. You call him a grifter. As a matter of fact, the grifting part is going to be proved in just a little bit because he made a big mistake trying to turn this around on Candace Owens, and that's where the grift was officially exposed for this clown.
But he literally swallowed him whole, and while he was in his stomach, you could still hear the baby goat yelling. That was difficult to watch, okay? That was hard to watch. But a grown man having a disagreement with his pregnant wife, I don't think there isn't even one time in the video he doesn't call her a name. He like,
just because you don't name call someone.
but watch this. we gonna play the actual video without the sad music.
Thank you. Please
I want
provide
y'all
some
to
context
listen.
for us, Angry Man.
I want y'all to listen and y'all tell me what y'all think, right? Let's play the actual
I drew a
video.
boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did. I drew a boundary of abuse and rule. You are not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There's no grocery store. I would have to.
Steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's not a reasonable thing, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect men? Yes, other than that.
Hillary, do you respect men? If a man truly was the leader and the head of his household, would he even feel the need to ask that question? No, guys, just let that sink in for a second, right? If a man who is truly the head of his household, like he preaches, would he even need to question his own standing within his family to his own wife? No, because it would be undisputed. But here's the thing. What I'm seeing right here, it means that respect was eroded. Whatever respect she had for you was eroded over time. That's what it's telling me. And you know it, Steven Crowder. You knew it. A lot of guys know, especially when it comes towards the end of their marriage and they can sense it, right? When the woman starts to, lose respect and she starts to step out of it, it's the same cycle. So you guys talk about that in the Manosphere a whole lot. So, Steven, if you truly were the man in the household, would you even need to question it? No. But the reason why you're asking these questions is due to insecurities. And why are you feeling those insecurities? Because you deep down understand that you're losing grip. That's what this is telling me. But I digress. Let's continue.
Now here's the thing. This is what I want to know. Ladies, how many of you, while you were pregnant, pulled your shirt up over your stomach so that your stomach would stick out?
A ton of women do that. Like, whoa, this is why I gotta come out and ask the question. Angry Man, have you ever gotten a woman pregnant? Like, as old as you are right now, do you even have any offsprings, right? Because if you had a wife, you would understand when you're that pregnant, okay, you can feel the babies move around inside you. You can feel them kick. And what is a mother's instincts when they feel a baby kick? They rub their stomach. Sometimes they want skin-to-skin contact, and they pull their shirts over their bellies to rub their stomachs, to feel more of the kick. If you've gotten a girl pregnant or had a girl you've had to take care of that was pregnant, all right, you would understand that when it gets to that stage and the baby kicks, what is the first thing she does? She picks up her shirt and says, hey, put your hand right here. Like, a lot of you guys are just using this as an excuse to say, no, she was doing this on purpose in that video to come at him to frame this whole thing. What? That's how I know none of y'all are speaking from experience. And on top of that, it is hot as hell outside. She's wearing a black shirt. Anyone who has ever worn a black t-shirt in the summertime, they understand how hot it can get compared to someone wearing a different colored shirt, okay? Because black fabric attracts a lot more heat than other fabrics, okay? So if she's pregnant, outside, wearing a black shirt, don't you think that her stomach would be extra sensitive to that extra heat that she's gonna be attracting just from wearing that shirt? So why do you think it's out of the ordinary to just pull your shirt over to let it cool down, especially in the privacy of your own backyard? Sometimes I think you guys read into scenarios that you don't need to be reading into when the answers are obvious. And if the answer isn't obvious to you, then clearly you don't have experience with pregnant women. You don't have experience practically with a lot of women, period. Some of y'all. Because that's what it shows. Why would she lift her stomach up? The baby kicks, and she wants to be close to the baby. It's hot. She's wearing a black shirt. She wants to make sure it's cooled down. There are plenty of reasons why women who are pregnant 8 months would want to do something like that. And their body temperature sometimes fluctuate wildly, like as if they weren't versus if they weren't pregnant. You understand that, right? Because you're carrying 2 other humans in your body. Jesus, man, you guys sound so fucking dumb. It's like you guys have never been to a sex ed class. Y'all need to go back to school.
Like, I've never seen a pregnant woman do that.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Did y'all do that? You know what I feel like? And this is just me speculating. I feel like she pulled that shirt up over her stomach because she knew that camera was right there.
Fucking God.
She knew that camera was right there. And it's like, she was like, yeah, I want to make sure everybody that sees this video knows that I'm pregnant. Because how did the video leak?
First of all, she leaked the video. She leaked the video herself because this was after they've been divorced, and he came out with the initial statement basically trying to put the blame on her. And we're actually going to go through that, all right? He came out saying, she left me, and, you know, the laws in Texas, unfortunately, if the woman wants to leave, I can't do anything about that, right? I love Hillary, but we shouldn't bring the kids into the situation. But I don't want to disparage her or anything like that. But meanwhile, he's going ahead and disparaging her. And we'll go through the comments here. We'll read through all of that. But Angry Man, I don't know if you're well versed in situational awareness, but I am. I tend to monitor my surroundings and things like that. Who do you think put that camera up there? Don't you think it was Mr. Crowder himself? And why wouldn't you think he'd put that camera up there? This is his backyard. And if someone, in case, because you look at the fencing back there, if y'all want to see the fencing, that fencing back here, it's not enough. All right, it's not enough. Hold up. It's not enough to keep an intruder out if you wanted to. Y'all see this little fencing back here, right? So obviously you need to put a camera where exactly it is if someone were to break through, hop the fence, and try to break into your backyard. It's a security thing. So her and them arguing in the patio did not automatically mean she was doing that on purpose because she knew she was going to get him on a gotcha. I'm pretty sure there are other cameras around the house. Did she plot that? Did she plot to be walking around pregnant in front of them cameras? Like, this is insane. The fact that you guys are thinking this is insane. The camera was obviously put there as a security measure, just like most people do with Ring cameras all around the country. Everyone uses Ring cameras. I don't, because they have audios, and I don't like audios. I don't want my audios being tracked. But a lot of households have Ring cameras. So you saying that because of them placing the camera where it is her doing this on purpose because she knew somehow they were going to get divorced. That's crazy. Because I'm pretty sure if he has this camera just sitting there in his backyard, there are probably more cameras. Fucking A, bro.
How did this guy get his hands on this video?
She leaked it.
Yeah, she was trying to get him to flip on camera. That's exactly what she was trying to do. But he didn't. That's exactly what she was trying to do. She was trying to get him to snap on camera. Shout out to Dub Will. He said, looked like a normal married couple argument to me. You know what, Dub Will? To me, it was a civil married couple argument.
And that's why 50% of marriages end in divorce. And a lot of y'all can't really see the errors of your ways because you watching something like this, yeah, it was civil. I don't see anything wrong with that. And you wonder why 50% of marriages end in divorce. And that's just first marriages. This looks like a normal, civil argument. There's nothing normal about this. We got an 8 months pregnant woman with twins sitting there while her husband, who supposedly had surgery because of his lungs, is sitting there berating her while smoking a cigar. Yeah, this guy who has lung problems is smoking a cigar in front of his pregnant wife while berating her, gaslighting her. And you guys are sitting there saying, nah, it's just a normal civil dispute between married couples. And you wonder why 50% of marriages end in divorce. Y'all come to the Manosphere space blaming the woman automatically, and we're not seeing this bullshit? Come on. If even his own audience think he did wrong, his own conservative audience are frying his ass right now. Why is it different in the black Manosphere? Why are we caping for this dude? No, honestly, why are we caping for this dude? It doesn't make any sense. Y'all.
So already off the rip at the beginning of it, what's the first thing he said? He said, no, you can't take the car because if you don't want to do wifely duties, I'll go pick up the groceries. So what are we talking about here? Already off the rip, we know part of the disagreement is he was expecting her, I guess, to go get the groceries or something. I don't know, right?
Meanwhile, you over here smoking a cigar. The similarities are just so striking to me.
No, I don't mean no, you're not taking the car. You're not taking the car. You are not.
Then I'm asking you to do that. Who would you like me to ask?
Hold up, right?
It's not about seeing.
Oh my God, he told her not to take the car. Somebody lock this man up. Jesus.
Angry man, you're not asking yourself why they only have one car and this guy's worth $20 million. I'm not worth near that much, and I got multiple cars. Make it make sense.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. He told her not to take the car. Oh my God. How is she living under those conditions? Can somebody please explain it to me?
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven,
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in this made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. It doesn't work either.
See,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going back when I'm back?
Steven,
The only way out of it is discipline and respect. If the only way out of it, then we're at an attack.
He already asked.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline.
Steven,
Yeah, there you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easy.
I don't give up, Steven.
You give up so easy. I just said the only way out of it is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an attack.
Steven, no, we are out of the past, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick.
And there it is. Your abuse is sick. Your abuse is sick. What abuse is she talking about?
Did you not just see the gaslighting? The guilt tripping? When she offered the compromise, he didn't want that to happen. And then guilt tripped her some more. You didn't see any of that? And I wonder why a lot of people and men don't get respect in their relationships nowadays. And these are guys who are specifically listening to guys like this. If you are listening to Angry Man right now, and the fact that he doesn't see any of these verbal, emotional abuse that just went down in that video that you and I in the chat just saw, you wonder why these people can't keep women. She literally just called out the gaslighting. She called out the emotional manipulation. And just because he wasn't screaming at her, he didn't raise her voice or he didn't put hands on her, you didn't see any form of abuse. This is nuts. This is incredibly nuts just seeing this.
What abuse is she talking about? I want somebody to tell me what he's doing. What is he doing in this video to abuse her? What is he doing in this video to abuse her?
I literally just explained all of that.
Other than sitting in his backyard with his leg crossed, smoking a cigar. What is he doing to abuse her?
Angry Man, if that's all
Yeah,
you
she's
saw,
posing for
it's
that
a big
camera.
problem.
Now, she said, your abuse is sick. And you know what he said? He said, watch it. And I know why he said that too.
He's sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need to get. And I need to stay.
Now, he said, watch it. Fucking watch it. Now, here's the reality. The reality is everybody's going to take that he said, and they're going to say that he was implying that if she didn't stop, something else was going to happen. I know that's what they're going to take it as.
No, that's not what we took it as either, because there was no evidence of physical abuse. No one is making that argument, Angry Man. We see clearly there wasn't no evidence, and even reading the divorce papers, she even stated there wasn't any physical abuse, but his temper would rise. And you know why his temper would rise? Because someone who's a seasoned manipulator, seasoned gaslighter, seasoned narcissist, okay, they don't like to be called out on their bullshit. So when she's saying, hey, I see the abuse that you're doing, dude, it's not cool. He's telling her watch it because he knows deep down he's getting called out on his bullshit. A lot of his excuses is just plain weird. You're sitting down smoking a cigar, breathing in her face, and then when she said, okay, I can have somebody pick me up, no. Can I just take the car? I'll do the groceries. No. Take an Uber. Why? Why would you want your pregnant wife getting in a car with a stranger who we don't know where the car has been, what dogs or pets have been in there, what other handful of things that could potentially harm your kids? Why would you even risk that?
But being that I've been in situations where somebody tried to gaslight me, or somebody tried to twist what I was saying, I know what he meant when he said, watch it. Like, stop playing with me. You feel what I'm saying? Which, in my opinion,
that's not it at all, buddy.
That's what men do.
No,
Yo,
that's not
watch it. And see, here's the hilarious thing about it. The hilarious thing is, You're gonna see all of the sanctimonious, holier than thou, well-to-do people just come out of the damn woodwork, right? On some, oh my God, he's so abusive. Yo, how many people out here, if you heard the conversations that they had in private? See, what's really messed up about this is a violation of trust. This is a violation of trust. He's having a conversation with his wife that he thinks is a private conversation. And see, here's the messed up thing. It is very deceptive and very jacked up. Shout out to Jay Jermaine. He said, this gonna lead to more Big Brother espionage on men's interactions with any women, spouse or not, to determine whether it's deemed toxic. Yeah. So,
no, it's not. The government ain't getting in your houses to figure out how you're dealing with your girl. And listen, you're saying it's a violation. Who put the camera up there? They obviously agreed to it. Who chose to have the argument there? They did. He could have at any point in time been cognizant and been like, I'm not engaging. But instead, he decided to act in a manner that was gaslighting, that was guilt-tripping, and just plain manipulative. He exposed himself. She just dropped the footage. That was it. Intrusive or not, it doesn't matter. That's him right there saying the things he's saying to his wife. So if we're seeing what people are saying when they believe people aren't watching, imagine what they do when people actually aren't watching. It's a little bit different now, isn't it? Because if he's willing to behave that way and forget that the camera's back there thinking no one else is watching, imagine the way he behaves when the camera's not there. And if you look in the divorce papers, they talk about that. There's a lot of arguments and his temper goes crazy. Although there's no physical abuse, he goes crazy. So there's been a lot of yelling and screaming in that house that we don't even know about. We just saw a glimpse. The fuck are you talking about, my guy?
I can't even explain how much of a violation of trust this is. Because you have to think about the premise of this. If she knew in her mind that she was going to leak that video, so she had prior knowledge that she was going to leak that video to this interaction.
What is your proof that she had prior knowledge of this? Literally, all the footage shows is that she was trying to get away from the house and he wouldn't let her. That's all it showed. She was trying to leave and he wouldn't let her. That's why we're all disgusted at what he was doing. Because at any point in time, if he didn't want to deal with it, he could have just said, all right, fine. Go have your friend call you. If you're so pressed about the car, I'm going to hang on to the car. Let me call you an Uber or let me go call your friend to come get you. No one would have a problem with that. She was trying to get away from the situation. He didn't want her to leave. He wanted to control her movements. Why do y'all think this is all deliberate? Y'all, this is why y'all live in la la land, some of y'all. Like, grow up. This is not how that works in real world. Sometimes there's just coincidences that happen, and sometimes we're glad that it happened. She's probably glad that she has that video to show how much of an abusive situation she was in for however goddamn long they were married. And as a man, if same thing was happening to you, you would wish you had that camera back there to show how abusive that woman was to you. Jesus. Acute Knowledge, shout out to you for the $10 super chat. He says, I think this footage looks bad, probably like everyone else in the chat, but I reserve casting too much judgment on this situation, to be honest. Long marriages can have steep ebbs and flows. We don't know them. You're absolutely right. But what you're right on is what we're also basically agreeing on, is the footage looks bad. And we can only judge based off the footage. And we're saying, oh, don't judge this or don't judge that. We're on the internet. Everyone has the right to have their own opinions. And when people saw that, even his own audience, they said, no matter what the background was, no matter what the situation was, there's still some goddamn sense. Something ain't right with that tape. And it's a sensible position to have. So it doesn't matter if there was situations going on before that. Matter of fact, what this video tells me is that the situation is probably worse off camera. You see what I'm saying? So I know we don't know the circumstances. We don't know the full situation and all that 9 yards. But what we do know is what we see in the tape, and we can judge his actions based off of that, and even his subsequent actions after that. Meaning his actions to try to cover her up, his actions to try to flip the blame on his wife, his actions to try to flip the blame on the Daily Wire and Candace Owens, right? Ben Shapiro even jumped in on this, and they called him a snake. This is the same guy who did that George Floyd challenge. Y'all know that George Floyd challenge? Y'all remember that? Let me show y'all something. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? Please tell me y'all remember this. This is this joker over here trying to prove that George Floyd only died of fentanyl and not because the officer had a boot in his neck. So he had his little band of racist jokers over here try to recreate the whole scenario and didn't even do it properly. But for those of you guys who don't understand or don't remember history, allow me to paint a nice picture for you.
The point is if you do think somebody's on a lethal, don't really know.
Low back. Well,
I can pull.
Wait, is this it? He's just popping a squat right here? This looks like no pressure. Are you kidding me?
This isn't even how the hold up. Let me show y'all. Let me show you the actual photo. Let me show you the actual photo right here. Give me 1 second. That looked like he got his full weight on it. Compared to what we're seeing over here, that's completely different. This is different from this. But he decided to run this little weird experiment to prove that George Floyd, what he went through, wasn't really it. This is the sickness of this loser. That's why I have zero respect for Crowder, and I have zero respect for anyone who respects Crowder. I don't. This is disgusting. It was disgusting when he did it then, and it's still disgusting right now.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. I need to see the relevant. First of all, to begin with, this test is dumb as fuck for a million reasons. We have no idea how much force was applied. Like, we don't know anything, so it's like impossible to make a fair comparison here. I need to see. Hold on.
Well, whatever you need to do. Go ahead. Let them do their thing.
What is he trying to prove? He's trying to prove that George Floyd died of fentanyl.
Not break my mic back.
There you go. Okay, gotcha.
By the way, guys, you ready for my hottest take yet? Even if fentanyl contributed to George Floyd's death, he was still killed by having the knee in his neck. He wouldn't have died if it weren't for the knee in his neck. If you're a police officer and you do something to a person that kills them, and the only reason they died is because they were under the effect of some kind of drug, you still killed them. That doesn't change anything. If a person is drunk and you like hit them really hard and it caused their heart to stop, you still killed them. It doesn't just because the alcohol led to like irregular internal functioning doesn't mean you didn't kill them. Okay, you still killed them.
Okay, I really have to pee too, so
Piss yourself. Hey, if you need to pee, if he doesn't piss himself while he's getting kneeled on, then this right here isn't real. Okay, we need enough force to make him lose control of his bladder.
let me know when you guys are ready to start.
All right, I'm ready to go when you are.
Yep.
He's got to pee. How do you think George Floyd?
Take a look, by the way, at how little force is about to be applied in his neck. I'm sorry, like you can see.
Stop it.
That's what I'm just saying.
Hey, come on.
Neck, here, shoulder.
Oh, pause the timer.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
There we go.
Look at that.
Now I'll roll it
It's
back.
actually more uncomfortable for me
Nice,
because
there
I
we
have a
go.
bad
This is a
shoulder.
massage.
So,
Look, you just saw Crowder move his head to adjust it.
All right,
Look.
now I'll roll it
it's
back.
actually more uncomfortable for me
Nice,
because
there
I
we
have a
go.
bad shoulder.
Look, he just wiggled his head.
My left shoulder right now is popped out of the socket, but
Oh,
It's
oh,
5
it's so
seconds
rough.
in and you don't like it.
Look at
Yeah,
look at
no,
this.
Already complaining.
hey, you know what, Dave? Sometimes you deserve to be arrested.
That's true.
He's specifically meaning you, Dave.
No,
I think
He can
My
still
response
talk. He
is
can
that,
move
yeah.
his head.
I think they were lower on the legs there, Brendan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I
He
think they were more
said,
like on the hamstring area.
I'm a little uncomfortable. Let me just
Okay.
move my head a little.
There
Yeah.
you go.
He can still talk.
Uncomfortable position for sure. It's supposed to be
Kenzie Star
restricted.
says Vosh. He's the only one that has this video. Steven Crowder deleted it. I was looking for this video for a minute, and he's the only one that had it. But I don't know Vosh. I don't really care too much for him. But like, I care about this video right here because you won't find it on the internet anywhere. Because he was wrong for what he did, and he took it down for a reason. But let's continue.
Steven, can you talk to us a little bit? Can you breathe?
Yeah, no,
just
I can
fine?
talk to you. I have more of a spasm in my neck because my neck's been sore for a couple of days.
Okay.
Like I said, what really hurts is my left shoulder just because of a nagging shoulder injury and the fact that Tokunawan put the cuffs on my forearms, not on my wrist.
Again, he did that?
Yeah, he put them on perpendicular
He did it on
to
purpose.
where my wrist goes as opposed to actually putting them. So he
just
made it
popping a
needlessly
squat.
unpleasant. Thanks for that,
There's
Tokunawan.
no
Is this
pressure
how
on his
he was
neck. Look at
cuffed then?
this.
Do we
Look
have
at
it
this.
properly?
I think it was properly. Well, I think what he's saying
think
is
they
that
cuffed
his is
properly.
worse. Yeah,
I think
Steven's
they
is
cuffed
worse.
Floyd.
That's enough of that. Let's continue with the video. I just wanted to show you guys what we're dealing with here when it comes to guys like what do you call it, Crowder here. Let's go back to Angry Man's excuse video over here for his master, Steven Crowder. This is interesting.
He's in a advantage because she's gonna stand there and say things to aggravate him. He's gonna think he's having a private conversation, not thinking about the camera because the camera's private. Who, you know what I'm saying? The people at Ring can't leak that information. Somebody in that house leaked that information.
It was her. She leaked it. And by the way, Ring is owned by Amazon. Amazon has a $500 million deal with the CIA. Who do you think there's data they're leaking to? You guys are crazy, bro. You guys are
So
crazy.
if she
You don't
knew
believe
ahead
this
of
shit's
time that she
already
was going to
being
leak that
leaked.
information, look, if you know you're going to be on camera, but the other person doesn't know, like, think about it. If you know that you're going to be on camera, but the other person doesn't know they're going to be on camera, and look, don't get it twisted. I'm not ruling out the fact that Steven could be a super abusive guy.
Oh, thank God.
He could be. But I would argue this. If he was really a super abusive guy, would he be that comfortable to sit on the couch with his leg crossed while she's standing over him talking like that?
Oh,
Because in my
God.
experience, guys that are overly aggressive, they don't like people standing over them.
What? What kind of sense does that make? So because she was standing and he was sitting down, it means that she was just being aggressive towards him? Is that what you're trying to say? And she's 8 months pregnant with twins. What threat? Y'all are... Oh, God. My brain is hurting. Chat, my brain hurts. I don't know why. I know why. It hurts so bad. It really hurts so bad. So a woman standing over the guy is threatening. Clearly he didn't feel threatened because he sat back down. Matter of fact, the only time he actually got up off his ass smoking that cigar was when she was about to walk out. You know, the thing she's been trying to do throughout the whole video we watched? Yeah, that thing. That's the only time he felt threatened enough to stand up to it. But all the time where he was berating her while she was standing there, he didn't feel threatened. This is crazy. Yo, Fred Sir Samson Mayo. Shout out to you with a $20 super chat. He says, character is what is shown when you think no one is watching. Crowder's a clown. I couldn't have put it better myself. This is all about your character. The way we see it is in that moment, they didn't know that Ring camera was happening. They didn't know it was running because they live there. So sometimes you forget your camera's on. All right. And when we get a peer into your character and how you treat people when no one else is watching, or when you think no one else is watching, That's a sign of if you have good character or bad character. In this case, Steven Crowder, the way he was berating his wife when he believed no one was watching, he doesn't have good character. And for someone like that to come up to YouTube and go off this conservative grift to teach traditional values and Christian values and whatever the hell it is, look at how these traditional Christian dudes are living behind the scenes when no one else is watching. And then you wonder why he just became another divorce statistic. Are we actually wondering why he just became another divorce statistic? Are we wondering why any of these guys who agree with this bullshit are divorce statistics? A lot of these guys don't think about that, but you're absolutely right. Character is everything, and this man has none. And anyone who's supporting this, it tells us, actually, it gives us an insight to what your character's like.
Jay Wood said Alexa and Google record conversations also, no doubt. Shout out to KN, said heavily pregnant lady being spoken to aggressively. Nah, optic is bad. It's not abuse, but in this climate, this looks bad. People already hate him, so they bias. White women tears is the thing, bruh.
Bro, you even getting told by your own chat. They super chatted you $20 just to tell you that. The optics is bad, and this is what we're saying. It doesn't look good when you're screaming at, well, not screaming at a woman, arguing with the woman, and it looks even worse if you're going back and forth with a pregnant woman. It just doesn't look good no matter what scale you put it on.
Picked wrong, he said it. Well, here's the thing. All of that may be true, but here's the reality. Look, she's hamming it up.
Oh, God.
She's hamming it up. Look, let me show you something.
Oh, my God.
Let me show you something. Let me pull this back up so you can see it again,
Here
right?
we go.
Look, she's standing there with her shirt pulled up over her belly so that her pregnant belly is exposed, and she's barefoot. The only thing she's missing is a kitchen. This would have been the perfect scenario for her if she was in the kitchen.
What? What? You think this is... Again, it looks hot outside, and she's wearing a black t-shirt. Everyone knows when you're wearing a black t-shirt and it's hot outside, you attract a lot of heat. Not even just a lot of heat. You could tell these guys have been arguing pretty much longer before they stepped in the frame of the camera. When you're arguing and you're 8 months pregnant with twins, again, your internal temperature may rise. There may be some fluctuations. So you might want to relieve the pressure that your children may be feeling. Matter of fact, even if she's stressed, which she is right now, you'd want to rub your belly. And she does that throughout the entire video. Because not only is she feeling stressed, she knows that transfers to the babies. The fact that y'all are sitting here trying to set up a scenario that isn't actually there, this is what's so alarming, and it's giving us an insight to how a lot of you Manosphere guys think. It's not good. Look, Steven Crowder's wearing socks. He's wearing socks right now. Clearly, there are people in their households that walk around barefooted. I walk around my patio barefooted. Sometimes with socks. And there's people in the chat that do that. I'm sure some of y'all walk around your house barefooted or with socks. Some of y'all go to bed with socks on. So is Steven Crowder part of the setup? Like, just be real and analyze the situation for a second. They're both comfortable in their households. This is crazy.
She's hamming it up for the camera.
She's doing this for the camera.
Exactly, Venom. He said you can't have a heated verbal exchange because a chick pregnant.
You shouldn't be having a heated verbal exchange while your wife is pregnant. Not a chick, his wife. That's a title that he bestowed on her by giving her a ring. It's not a girlfriend title, so she's not some chick, okay? So you don't argue with your pregnant wife. That's not a smart thing to do. So the fact that y'all are just super chatting that, It's crazy to me. I love this super chat of cute knowledge. Shout out to you. He says, I think it's unfair to assume Angry Man doesn't know what it's like to be pregnant. I mean, he looks like he might be in a third trimester himself. Chat. This would be some chat shit. I love it. I love it. Yeah, bro. I'm sure when you get hot, you lift your sweatshirt over your belly and rub it, especially after a good turkey meal, bro. Everybody does that. Well, maybe not everybody, but you know what I mean, Angry Man. Yeah.
We saw a video. We saw a video. Look, check this out. We seen a video called F and F. And if I remember correctly, there was a chick in that video that was pregnant. She was twerking. She was turning up. Was nobody concerned about that pregnant lady?
Because that's a single, probably if she's on Fresh and Fit or F and F, she's probably single. And she's not married, most likely. And if she's twerking it up, she definitely has no class. So why would we care? If she's pregnant and goes into an environment like a Fresh and Fit podcast, you're already telling us what we need to know. And that's different when you contrast it with a wife who is at home trying to get through to her husband that she needs space from him. Two different things, Angry Man. Two different things. And I'm sure those people in the comment section on FNF's video with the pregnant lady twerking, if that's even true, I'd believe it, because a lot of weird shit happened on that platform. Matter of fact, today's video was supposed to be about them, because they had a little racist situation that went down in their podcast, so we got to cover that. But people in their chat are going to hold that woman accountable. There are probably people who are going to be doing videos nonstop berating that pregnant woman for twerking on FNF podcast. So you guys would have no problem holding that woman accountable. But we have a completely different situation here. And what? No, that's not the same thing. No, she clearly was the abusive one. Y'all are crazy. You understand it, right? This is crazy.
Was nobody concerned about her? And look, somebody said, well, in the climate of today, the optics look bad when you're talking in an angry tone to pregnant women.
You're mocking your subscriber that gave you that $20 super chat that said the optics look bad. He's absolutely right. The optics look bad. And the person that just paid you $20 to say that, and only for you to turn around and mock them, it just says what you guys think about your audience. None of them have respect for any of y'all. Y'all are so used to being whipped around and being abused by a lot of these Manosphere content creators. Some of y'all have Stockholm Syndrome. I wouldn't doubt it. Because some of these content creators be abusing the crap out of y'all. Like, really? He's over here mocking the guy that just paid him $20 to say exactly what he's berating right now. The optics look bad. That's why Steven Crowder is in trouble. Okay, he's in deep trouble because of optics. You see me? You hear me? In it? You got me, yeah? All right? I don't know why I got into... I got that, what do you call that, King Riches. I got into that accent real quick. Kenzie Starr, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. He says, at Kidology did her research. His wife has a serious health condition too. Life-threatening. Whoa. Kidology? Let me look that up. I'm gonna play his video. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Really? Somebody explain to me. I just want one person in here. One person. I want one person to explain to me why the optics look bad if a dude is arguing with a pregnant lady. I just want to know.
If somebody has to explain to you why the optics look bad of when a guy is arguing with a pregnant woman, yeah, it definitely explains a lot. Actually, it explains a lot about the manosphere. If someone has to explain to you how the optics look bad when a man is literally arguing with this woman in front of the rest of us, granted, they didn't know at the time we'd all be watching. But if you don't see the problem with that, it explains a lot about the manosphere. That's why I'm not surprised you guys have come up here and have no problem berating other black women and other women on your platforms. Because y'all don't see a problem with it. Y'all are used to that, right? And y'all don't see how when we're sitting here shaming and going at our women for everyone else to see, you don't understand how that makes us look weak? You don't see how other racial groups will perceive us as, hey, look how they treat their women. No respect. Why should we respect these men? Like, who the fuck is going to respect that, huh? No one. That's the same way we're looking at these guys. Even though they're white, or they're a white couple, okay, it still looks bad because you have a white man who looks weak optics-wise because he's arguing with his own woman. You see what I've been trying to tell y'all? Y'all Manosphere dudes? It doesn't matter what race it is. If the person of either race is berating or arguing or belittling their woman, the optics are going to look bad regardless of who it is. That's why we don't encourage it in the black manosphere, but it's something that everyone is used to. That's why we find a problem with it. We tell you guys, don't do this stuff the way you treat black women in front of everybody else because it makes us look weak. And it's not just us in the black manosphere, because I see a lot of these other guys in all the rest of the manosphere, they do this too when they talk to women. They berate them, and guess what? It makes them look like bitches. Optics look bad regardless of which. The strength of a man is based on how they treat their women. If you treat your women poorly, your strength is poor. So if you don't see how the optics look bad, angry man, I am not surprised considering the way you treat women on your platforms. Because you don't care about the optics. Not even realizing that to us, you look weak as fuck. But if you can't even see it in your own head, I am not surprised, and neither is anyone else in the chat. Guys, my head hurts. This is
Somebody
crazy.
please tell me. Why does it look bad?
Oh, he's talking about F&F by Gorilla or Glorilla. Oh, yeah. Even worse. Even worse. But I take it back. It wasn't Fresh and Fit podcast. It was Glorilla. That's even worse because she is not an influence. She is not someone you want your daughters to be listening to. Just saying.
Just out of curiosity. Okay, so let's look at what one queen said. Queen lady said, at 8 months pregnant with twins, any straining can send you into early labor. She's supposed to be on bed rest. He's such a rich man. Why not hire help for your pregnant wife? Oh, okay. 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 Let's see. Let's go to KN. Kareen said optics. Look, majority of peeps feel sorry for her. We know that he wasn't abusive, but narrative is he's an a-hole and mistreats his wife. Okay, so basically what you're saying is because she's pregnant, people are going to have more sympathy for her, right?
Yes. Because she's a pregnant woman. Are you crazy? She's a pregnant woman. You're supposed to have sympathy for a pregnant woman. Like, it doesn't even matter. You treat them with grace. They're pregnant. I don't get this. Some of y'all are saying, "Oh, this is simping." All right, you're being anti-feminist. That's right. Yeah, you're just simping for women. That's not what this is. This is just common sense. If you guys listen. Those of y'all who are saying that, it's interesting because I would like to know your relationship status. And don't act like I wouldn't have the means to really find that out. Because it's ridiculous. You're speaking like you don't have experience at all. This ain't anti-feminism. This ain't simping. This is just common sense. If we're supposed to be provider and protector, why aren't we providing and protecting over here? He couldn't provide another car, couldn't provide a space where there's peace, but he's yet demanding respect at the same time? No. I think you all got this wrong. This right here, what Angry Man is pushing, is the opposite of feminism. And that's why we have to call it out. Because you guys have become your own worst enemy. Yeah, the Manosphere, the red pill. In order to fight feminism, y'all became male feminists. Just like that. excusing the man's behavior at all cost to the detriment of the woman. And that's not what a lot of people signed up for. They didn't sign up to blame women all goddamn day. They signed up to improve their lives. Matter of fact, you guys have been setting people back for a very long time, and it's frankly just disgraceful. So those of you guys who have that mentality, you are brainwashed. You just don't even know it yet.
Because people are concerned about the unborn child, right? Or the unborn children, right? Is that what y'all are saying? Like, oh, she's delicate. She's a pregnant woman. She, you know, right? Is that what y'all are saying? KN said yes. Okay. So here's my question. Why is it only sacred then? When they're singing about Kenny and a plan B, why it ain't sacred then?
You're comparing two different people or two different ideologies, all right? There are liberals who believe in abortion and they don't believe kids are kids in the baby's womb or in the woman's womb, right? This is not that conversation, angry man. We're talking about a conservative man in their conservative household, all right? So they don't even believe in the ideologies of abortion. So you skipping over and then just making a straw man argument to say, well, if you guys are going to have a problem with this, why don't you guys have a problem with Planned Parenthood? Of course we have a problem with Planned Parenthood. Of course we have a problem with abortion. But this isn't about abortion. This is about Steven Crowder, this conservative man who is mistreating his wife who's pregnant with kids. Those ideologies you're bringing up doesn't even come close to what Steven Crowder believes in. And it shows because clearly his wife is carrying the babies to term. So you talking about abortion is a completely different sidestep to try to make a point that doesn't really actually need to be made, but it's completely different. If it was in the documents that she was gonna go have an abortion, then your argument would be relevant. But in this case, it's not. But I digress. A lot of these guys are going to say, oh, you're being moral, you're being sanctimonious, you're being this. No, it's just common sense. It really is. And it shows you common sense ain't all that common, especially in the manosphere.
Shout out to the lowly one. He said, since when do certain people care about kids? Out of here with the moral crap. I'm just asking. Look, you'll get no argument from me. I think that when a woman creates a child, carries a child, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that every child has the right to be born and have a good life and not have to be subject to any foolishness or any of that.
Okay, that just made you a goddamn hypocrite. Because in that video, the child hasn't even been born yet, but she was already subjected to a bunch of foolishness just in that little video alone. And yet you're sitting here, I believe a child should be carried to term and not to be subjected to any foolishness. What the fuck were we just watching that video? Can you explain that to me, or can you not explain that to me? Because you are just contradicting yourself in the same sentence, bruh. Oh my God, my head hurts. These people are legitimately stupid. They're stupid. Like, I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I gotta say it. I gotta be real for a second. I have to be real for a second. These niggas are dumb. They're just dumb. This is such a dumb argument, bro. I can't, bro. He literally just said it in one breath. Oh, they don't care about all these kids being aborted, okay? But listen, hey, guys, all right? I believe that kids should be carried to term and not to be subjected to any foolishness. Like the video we did not just see wasn't her being subjected to a bunch of foolishness before her kids were born. Now, granted, the kids were born healthy, but still, he's smoking in front of her. He's getting her stressed out. He's playing mental games. There's a bunch of foolishness alone, bro. You sound dumb. Like, no. All due respect, that's dumb. That's a dumbass take, bro. Just being real with you. Kez Star Take, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, she has Guillain-Barré syndrome too. What is that? I'm going to look that up. Guillain or Julian. Is it Julian or Guillain? Guillain-Barré or Guillain-Barré syndrome. I got to look that up. But god damn. Antonio, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. He says, sup, Duke. Back in 2017, Steven Crowder did a video on Bruce Lee was a fraud, and the Wing Chun and the JKD community doesn't like him, and I never liked him. Fact, I won't be surprised at him coming after Bruce Lee. I didn't like him because of that George Floyd shit. He did the whole reenactment for George Floyd, and he was saying, yeah, no. You black people, settle down. You're overreacting. Cops are great. Cops are not bad people at all, okay? It wasn't the cops' fault that George Floyd died. Meanwhile, we all saw it. If the rest of the world can unite on that issue, what like, what was the point of doing that video, Steven? Unless you were trying to prove a goddamn point. A weird point that you're trying to prove that shouldn't be making sense, but you're trying to make it make sense. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't like Steven Crowder. They know he's a slimy asshole. Even his own folks don't like him.
That's what I believe. So if you want to say, yo, he shouldn't be stressing out his pregnant wife, I say, okay, you're right. But the same concern that he has, the same concern that you propose that he needs to have for his pregnant wife, and by the way, I didn't see him raise his voice not one time throughout this whole conversation. He didn't raise his voice not one single time throughout this whole conversation. The whole time he was talking, he had a regular tone.
And it was super condescending.
But the same level of concern that you expect him to have for his pregnant wife, shouldn't she have the same level of concern for that child? In other words, let me not argue with this man. Let me go somewhere and sit my behind down. Juan Solo said she had healthy twins. So apparently he must not have stressed her out that much.
I found Kidology's video, so we'll play it right after this. Shout out to you for the $2 super chat, Kedzie.
Yo, we got 606 people in here. We only got 330 likes. Let's get the likes up.
Get them up,
the Cash App and support the show.
Get the likes up. You got to get
Shout
the
out
likes
to William.
up.
He said, nice camera, AM. Like I can touch you. Pause. Yeah, the joint is NP coming through. Even try to, you know, you can try to say that's abuse, right? But we've gotten to a place in this world where, as a man, you cannot win. You can't win for losing. You can't win for losing.
How can you win from losing? You by definition, if you're losing, you can't win. What? What? Oh my God, bro. You can't win from losing. No, dummy, because you're losing. You can't win if you're losing, bro. That's not a thing, because if you're winning, you'd be winning. You wouldn't be losing. So you can't win if you're losing. Bro, that breaks my mind even trying to think about it. Maybe I'm too dumb to understand this knowledge. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know how this knowledge works. Maybe I'm not in that super red pill level yet to really understand what he's trying to say. But to me, it don't make any sense. You can't win from losing, but you're losing. So yeah, you're not going to win. What? You can turn things around and then you'd be winning. And then you can win from winning. But you can't win from losing. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm so confused. I'm so confused, bro. And realistically, you don't win, period, if you're arguing with a pregnant woman. You don't win. That's not a winnable scenario. That's never been a winnable scenario. And the fact that Steven Crowder was dumb enough to put himself in that unbeatable scenario says everything that we need to know. And a lot of you guys that agree with that, it lets us know as well. I'm sorry.
There is literally nothing he could have said in this situation that they weren't going to say was abuse. There's literally nothing he could have said. Nothing.
Keep believing that.
What could he have said that was not going to be misconstrued as abuse?
He could have just let her take the car or get her an Uber or let her friend come pick her up. How about that? All we saw in the video was her trying to leave and him keeping her there.
Somebody tell me.
He says it's an old saying. I've never heard that saying before in my life, so maybe I missed that. And I'm Nigerian, so maybe I don't know, right? Maybe it is an old saying. That old saying don't make sense to me. Can somebody explain what that saying means? I actually don't know what that means, because to me, I'm thinking about it literally. You can't win from losing. How can you win if you're losing? That's the way my mind is going. But maybe I'm thinking about it differently. Somebody help me understand that in the chat. All right, explain it to me, because even if it's an old saying, it don't make sense.
Could he have said it would not have been interpreted as abuse? He literally sat on the couch for the entire time. His whole body language is laid back. He didn't jump up. He said one curse word. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't make any threats. What could he have done in that situation where that wasn't going to be like?
He could have just let her go.
The moment that the video came on and she's standing there pregnant, he's already a villain. It's almost like he's wrong for being with her. It's gotten to that point.
Just keep playing the video, bro. I got nothing to say to this.
It's gotten to the point where his only crime is having the nerve or the stupidity to marry her ass. It's gotten to that point. Shout out to Science Guy.
We're just victim blaming now. All of a sudden, I like how when the Manosphere shifted it off of Crowder and the clear negative optics that presented to now saying, yeah, man, this is why we're losing. All right, this is why you need to pay me in the Cash Apps for this knowledge I'm giving you over here. Hit the Cash App. Come on now, hit the Cash App. Let's go. I'm dropping all this knowledge over here. Y'all better hit the Cash App. That's what y'all are paying for? This nonsense, right? They're just more victim Olympics for men. Like, what is this? Oh, well, the camera started and she was just standing there. I mean, he's already at a loss. What? It could have been anything else. Maybe him using his tone of voice to be intentionally condescending. Maybe it's him using that same tone of voice, Angry Man, to gaslight her. Maybe it's him using that same tone of voice, Angry Man, to guilt trip her by telling her she's not committed enough just because she's trying to leave the situation. Again, what I saw is her trying to either take the car, call her friend to leave the situation. And what he was doing was setting up roadblocks to prevent her from doing so by saying, my life is to the second. What am I going to do if I need to go see my friends? What am I going to do if I need to go do something else or pick up the grocery, go do all these other wifey things? Again, a gaslight. Then she says, oh, I'll call a friend. Oh, you're just going to leave. See, I know you weren't committed. You don't respect me. You don't see the optics in any of that? You don't see the problem in any of that, any of all that at all. You don't see him antagonizing in any of that. All you saw in your victimhood mind is the camera came on, she's standing there because she's pregnant, and he automatically lost, and now it's the man's fault. See, guys, we can't win. Do you not understand how these Manosphere leaders try to trap you in this space? Y'all don't need to even be in this space right now. You need to leave the manosphere. That's what the whole point of the manosphere is. You come in, get the knowledge to help you improve your life, and you get the hell out. The longer you stay in here, the more poisoned your mind becomes, because a lot of the ideas won't pertain to you as your life progresses. These guys are using these cheap tactics to brainwash a lot of you guys to stay in this space. Your goal is not to stay in this space and keep funding their lifestyles. Your goal is to stay and not stay in the space, to get the knowledge and leave. These guys have been preaching the same knowledge for years now, and y'all niggas are still here? Why are you still here? Is your life sucks that bad that you're still here? That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to get out of the manosphere. That's the whole point, especially people who are watching. You come in after whatever breakup or whatever scenario you have, you're supposed to get the knowledge and you leave. But these guys have got it so twisted that their whole main goal is to keep you here so you can hit the Cashapp. Come on now, hit the Cashapp. That's what this is all about. So you can fund the chains, you can fund the outfits, you can fund all the fancy stuff they got back there. That's what you're meant to do here. And it's unfortunate that they're brainwashing a lot of you guys to believe that crap. It isn't victimhood for men. Steven Crowder was every bit in the wrong in that video.
Such a thing as verbal, there's a such thing as verbal abuse. Also, the wife said she'd been hiding his behavior for a while. Also, when they went inside, he said to her he would F her up. Bro, science guy, let me ask you something. Are you a dude? Are you a dude, science guy? Are you a dude, science guy?
No. If he kept his mouth shut, no one would be thinking that he was neglecting his wife. All he had to do was just let her leave. That's it. And no one would have a problem. Believe that. Jay the Informant. Interesting name. Shout out to you for the $2 super chat. He says Angry Bird is literally the village idiot. I'm honestly starting to believe it, because a lot of his takes in, and the thing is, I don't even like, this is the thing, I don't really even like doing videos of Angry Man. Y'all love seeing this shit, which is crazy. But like, somebody sent me this video and they're like, yo, dude, you just did a reaction to Steven Crowder and shit. You should check out Angry Man's take on it, because it's actually pretty ridiculous. I literally was watching this and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, why, God? Why? Now I gotta do another Angry Man video because this is sheer ridiculousness. This is sheer ridiculousness. Like, listen, put a 1 in the chat if you agree, or put a 2 if I'm crazy. If you agree with everything, if you agree with what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat, because I think what he's saying is ridiculous. And I think it's actually worthy of a video. Like, I try not to, but like, listen, because I actually respect Angry Man. I like him, but like, it's like, damn, bro, you do this bullshit where it's just like, now we gotta check you on this stuff, man. You gotta get checked. You're not making sense, bruh. None of this is making any sense, and you think you sound so profound. All right, it's like, Angry Man, I know, you're probably like, Duke, I don't know why he's doing these videos, man. He needs to cut it out. Listen, if you don't have that one person in your corner to tell you when you're doing wrong, everybody else around you is fake. And I'm being dead ass. If you don't have anyone telling you what you're saying is wrong, you have fake people around you, or, and which is I don't want to believe, you're doing this for clout. Because it's very convenient how you wouldn't hold Pearl accountable for the same, or I wouldn't say same situation, but you didn't hold Pearl accountable when she was quote-unquote racist. Instead, you chose to berate black folks. And then when we're seeing a clear situation where Steven Crowder is in the wrong, you choose to berate the women. It's like, in each scenario I look at, you always go after the low-hanging fruit. So I don't want to believe you're doing this for clout, because I still have some respect for you. But if you're actually thinking that you're having some kind of profound thought, you need somebody to tell you you're wrong. And no one else is doing that, because everybody's buddy-buddy. Everybody's buddies with each other, so they can't say anything bad. And you wonder why the manosphere is so corrupted. Y'all are butt buddies. That's what all y'all niggas are. All of y'all are butt buddies. All of y'all. If somebody's not calling out the dumb shit that you're saying, y'all are butt buddies. That's all I gotta say about that. Butt buddies. That's what y'all are. If you don't have nobody calling you out, they're your butt boys. Playing around here.
Shout out to Dub Will. He said, facts. Even if he had kept his mouth shut, they would have said he was neglecting his pregnant wife. No win situation. Yeah. You're a guy, right? So, science guy, could you do me a favor when you get a chance? Could you check and see if your cojones are still attached, or if they are sitting in a mason jar on your significant other's nightstand? That's what I would like to know. That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, just berate people that pay you.
See,
you live on YouTube, but just berate the people that pay you. That's shame, insults, and eat the real right. Right? Listen, it's strong with you guys. You know what? Kevin Samuel should be using the same language on y'all. He should have been talking to each and every single one of you niggas, because I see nothing but sign languages here. All right, y'all over here, y'all doing nothing but sign languages. That's all I'm seeing. Shame, blame, excuse, need to be right. Right? That's what I'm seeing. To be fair, what is it? Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Yep. I'm seeing a lot of that here. You're just shaming the people that are trying to tell you what's up. So I was wrong. There are people who are there trying to call you out. I was wrong. Because they're clearly, his audience are calling him out, but he just insults them. Like, what's respectable about that? You just insult them. They're paying you to let you know, hey, okay, it's kind of like this. I get people who pay me and they say, oh, Duke, I disagree. And I say, okay. And I explain my point. And I do it without berating my audience because they pay me. Why would I do that? And if I'm doing wrong, I need to know I'm doing wrong. I need to be checked. And I've been checked multiple times. Y'all need to go easy. While we're on that topic, goddamn, some of y'all can be harsh. But I get checked. I do it I get checked in the comments. I get checked in the chat. And it's okay because it keeps me balanced and focused. And that's the most important thing, being balanced and focused. Jesus Christ. Yikes.
Here's the thing, and you might not know this, science guy, because I don't really know what your age bracket is. But this over here, this over here, this is a Gen X channel. This is a Gen X space. Okay? And for Gen Xers, verbal abuse doesn't exist.
Is that true for people who are Gen X's? I'm considered a millennial, so I don't know. I don't. Maybe it is a generational thing, and I'm not sure. But can someone tell me if you're a Gen Xer, is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? What he just said? Because I don't know what he means.
Because what you call verbal abuse today is just the way everybody talked during our era. Because let me ask this question. So let me humor the science guy real quick, right? And everybody else to think that Crowder was a woman.
This dude spends so much time berating his own audience, bro. You just got to skip some of this shit.
Pregnant, she can't rest in her femininity. You men need to step up. Well, here's the problem with that, one queen, since you won't come up and have a conversation with me. See, here's the reality. My masculinity is not predicated upon what a woman does or doesn't do. So, by that very definition, your femininity should not hinge upon what I do as a man. You should be feminine regardless of what I do or don't do. Now,
no, that's not how that works. Because then that means that women would just be feminine around any other beta male that's out there. That's not true. Like, there's a point when women say you got to draw that femininity out of them. There's a point. Because when you get a woman in her femininity, right, that means that that guy is in their masculine frame at that point in time. So that way she can relax and be comfortable and confident in her femininity because she knows that you got this. But if she's able to rock you off your square, like Steven Crowder, Steven Crowder's wife did to him, right? That confidence is shaken because you're no longer that rock. You're no longer that stoic or whatever it is you guys preach over here that makes a man a man. You're no longer that person. That's why Steven Crowder has to question if his wife still respects him. He has to question that because he's lost his position. And he knows that deep down. That's why it's a big insecurity for him. So yes, a woman's femininity does depend on who she's around. Because she's around a bunch of bitches, some beta males. She knows them niggas ain't gonna do shit when shit hits the fan. So she has to be masculine.
If what I do as a man you find unacceptable, then guess what? We have this thing called no-fault divorce. We have this thing where women who don't want to be in relationships don't have to be in relationships.
And then you guys complain about the very fact that women don't want to be in this relationship because they don't respect y'all no more. God damn. It's like, listen, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Huh? What do you call it, right? Winning, losing, right? Winning when losing, is that what you said? It's your own quote all over again. You're winning while you're losing, right? That's exactly what the scenario you just described. Because that's what she did. And a lot of people are berating her for that. For leaving and filing a divorce. Do you hear yourself? Do any of you guys even hear yourself? Like, God damn. Like, the Manosphere, where have we gone where we've gotten this stupid? Like, let's just be real. Where have we gone to where we've gotten this stupid? This is a dumb take. Yeah, of course, no-fault divorce exists because of situations like that. And then they leave. And that's what I was just saying earlier. You guys are wondering why. The guys who have a problem with this, y'all are wondering why the divorce rate's 50% right now for first marriages. It's higher with second marriages. You're wondering why. Because the women don't like the scenario they're in, so they leave. And then we go around and berate them for leaving. But these are the exact same scenarios that we tell you guys are the reasoning why women leave. These divorces and these splits that happen when we look at this 50% number has to go way deeper. Sometimes it comes down to the women losing respect for the man. Sometimes it comes down to financial situations. Sometimes it comes to the lack of being able to communicate efficiently. There are top reasons why people get divorced that adds to that 50% number, and Steven Crowder's video displayed a portion of it. So she's right to leave that situation because God knows how long that abuse has been there. She's right to leave that. And you're sitting here berating your own chat room people saying, well, if you don't like it, that's why we have no-fault divorces and the woman can leave. But then you guys will turn around and berate the same women for leaving these divorces. Winning when losing? That sounds familiar, Angry Man? You let me know if that sounds familiar.
They actually have shelters that you can go to and say, hey, I don't want to be in this relationship with this guy. I think he's going to follow me, or I think he's going to try to find me. And guess what? You can stay there in that shelter anonymously.
Fuck.
No one will come there. They'll even help you relocate and move somewhere else. So this idea that you're the victim and the big bad men won't let you rest in your femininity is BS.
This is crazy.
BS.
Bro. This is crazy, bro. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
It's BS.
I can't believe I'm hearing this, chat.
She responded with the face palm. Would you like to come up and have a conversation with me? I'm going to ask again. Queen Lady E, would you like to come up and have a conversation? It'll be cordial. No, to everybody that's watching, this is how you know what I said was valid. I said that Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, was nice. And you know why I'm saying that he was nice? Because those women had absolutely no problem having a conversation with him. They are terrified when it comes to having a conversation with me. See what I mean? She said, I'm not for everybody. Y'all be tripping. Beano Nation, when has a woman came up on my panel for a one-on-one conversation and I was tripping?
There's been multiple times that has happened. We watched you literally just scream at one woman and then told her to shut up because she was saying that you misrepresented her while she was in the chat. And when she came up to talk to you, you literally talked over her and kicked her off before she even explained anything. Don't you think women are watching that? They're watching how you treat other women. You think they're dumb enough to come up there and get that same treatment from you? They're already hip to the game how women are treated on these panels. So why would they willingly put themselves out there? No. They can just hit you up from a distance. That's it. Even some of your own audience don't want to come up there and talk to you because of the way you treat them. Like, y'all don't see this? It's the way you treat people. The Great People Podcast, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. He says, can someone please ask Angry Man, the Gen Xer, what's really good with that Green Ranger flute behind him? Asking for a friend. Oh my God, that's crazy. Got a Thor hammer and shit. Like, you got the whole collection. Listen, I know a lot of guys get into like collectibles and whatnot, but what's the appeal to that? Because maybe because I'm Nigerian, all right? Maybe it's a little bit different. Because like I was laughing at this one dude that had the Funko Pop toys, and y'all like, don't make fun of Funko Pop toys, because he had a whole collection of Funko Pops just sitting right there. And I'm like, why? What is with grown men and just collecting things? I've never listened. Okay, I do have a collection. I collect guns. I got a gun collection. So I guess, but when you compare it to toys, like I don't see the appeal. Maybe it's the same appeal that I have with guns, but I don't know. Like with guns, I could use it. I could shoot them. I could go to the range with the family. Like there's a lot of things you could do, but like you see all these action figures that are just chilling on the back there. Like, what do you do with that? Like, they just sit there. You can't do anything with them. They're not functional, just taking up space. I don't get it. Like, maybe I've never really understood people's obsession with just collecting toys or these little trinkets and whatnot. So can someone help me understand that? And this isn't to make fun of anything or anything like that. I'm not, because I collect things too. I just don't understand why men choose to collect toys. Some men should collect toys, and what's the appeal in that? Like, is there like a value? Are there values in this? Like, is this worth $1,000? This Vegeta statue over here? Like, is this Vegeta statue worth $1,000, or this Batman statue, or this little dagger over here? How much is it? Does it hold its value? Is that a Power Ranger sword? I don't know. Somebody help me out.
See, I love how y'all women love to come over here and gaslight and try to make it seem like it's something that it's not. Every single time I've asked a woman to come up here to substantiate their argument, I've had a civil conversation with them. Nobody got cursed out. Nobody got screamed on. None of that happened. So you're going to have to stop making these weak excuses. The reason why you won't come up here to have the conversation with me is because you know what you're saying is BS. You know what you're saying is illogical. So what you try to do is you try to paint me as this misogynistic ogre that's going to scream on you as soon as you come up here. And
Angry Man, I think you're doing that to yourself. Nobody has to do that for you. Let me skip ahead, because he's just berating his audience, a female audience right now. Like, bruh, come on. Let me skip past this.
Anyway, let's do this. So first and foremost, let's establish verbal abuse and emotional abuse. Okay? Let's establish this. Do you guys believe that verbal and emotional abuse exists? It's not a trick question. I just want to know how many people believe it exists, right?
You're gonna get cancer one day, bruh.
So far,
you gotta stop with these cigars.
87% are saying yes.
We had to skip the poll part.
So 90% of the people are saying yes. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Heed. He says support the shoe. %82% say that it exists. So, for the sake of this discussion, right? For the sake of this discussion, let's say that it does exist. Let's say that verbal abuse and emotional abuse is a real thing, right?
What do you mean, let's say, for the sake of the conversation? It is a real thing. Whoa, hey, nigga, what? Hey, chill with that. What do you mean, let's say, if verbal abuse and emotional abuse was a real thing? We don't have to say it. It's real. It was in the video that you just reacted to. Aisha, what is going on here? Like, are we that delusional? How do you... where are you going with this, Angry Man? Where are you going with this argument? Let's say if verbal abuse and emotional abuse are a real thing. Why we have to say it? It is a real thing. Okay, let's see where he's going with this argument. Whoa!
So, would you like to hear my hypothesis
Yeah.
as to why today's women are constantly complaining about verbal and emotional abuse?
Yo, let's hear it. Let's hear this hypothesis, angry man. Let's hear it. I already know it's
Would you
gonna
like
be
to hear
fucking
my
stupid.
hypothesis about that?
What's your hypothesis, bro? I already know it's gonna be dumb. Tell us what it is, angry man. Fuck. Come on now, let's hear it. Yeah, Jesus. Oh no. Come on.
Let's see. Yes, Fight Club never cam up. I booted you and you felt some type of way. You never been civil with me, and nobody block her. I want her to answer that question. Why are you in my chat room?
Can you get on with the hypothesis?
Is my content that awesome? Is my content so awesome that you look past the fact that we had a disagreement because you gotta be in here and you gotta be part of the festivities? Is that what it is?
What?
Just tell me. If you tell me that's what it is, agree with everything you said, done.
Bro, get to your hypothesis. Are you gonna get to it? It's been like 30 seconds.
Anyway,
Thank you.
she's showing herself to be typical.
Bro, don't be hung up on the one woman that shows up on your platform. Just get on with it, okay? The fact that you don't have a lot of women, because women, a lot of them fuck with this Manosphere shit. And if you don't believe it, just look at how big Kevin Samuels' channel got, all right? He's the one of the biggest Manosphere creators that had a shit ton of women. And guess what? That made him a lot more popular. So I don't know why you're mad, because the few women that show up to your platforms, don't want to come up and talk to you. There's a perfectly good reason why, and you've exhibited that multiple times. But I digress. Get to your hypothesis.
And what she's being typical about is she's being typical in the sense that whenever I address her, she stops talking.
This guy says he paid $5 to say this. Ebo Sosa. Okay, I don't know about that Ebo name, but let's hear Ebo Sosa. He says, to me, there's no emotional abuse. There's only verbal abuse. Doesn't verbal mean using words? Words trigger emotion, so there's only verbal abuse. Oh my God. Yeah, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Y'all niggas are brainwashed.
But whenever I go back to doing my show and ignoring her, then she starts talking again. Classic dysfunction. Classic dysfunction. There were times where I've dated women like that, where when you wanted to have the conversation with them, they didn't want to talk. But the moment you didn't want to have the conversation, that's when they wanted to talk. Kind of like what this lady's doing right here. This is the reason why she can identify with Steven Crowder's wife. Because 9 times out of 10, Steven Crowder was sitting outside minding his business, didn't want to have the conversation, and she came out there and forced him to have the conversation.
She didn't. She literally wanted to go. She even offered to have a friend come pick her up. He didn't want her to leave. And you don't even ask yourself, why is a guy who's worth $20 million not have 2 cars? He's a control freak. Let's stop giving this guy a pass. He's a control freak. All right, shut. This guy's dumb, bro. This is such a dumb take, angry man.
Which, by the standard that you women are actually using, that is a form of abuse.
Oh, God. Here we go. Here we go.
That's a form of abuse.
Here we go.
Y'all are running around here talking about verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. You got all kinds of versions of abuse.
Oh, no.
If a man is minding his business, getting his peace of mind, chilling, and you're forcing him to have a conversation, forcing him to have an argument that he doesn't want to have, I can argue that that is also a form of abuse.
Emotional abuse is an actual it's an actual research term. It's like an actual term. It's a real thing. So is verbal abuse. So the fact that you have your own minions who don't believe that emotional abuse is a thing, it means the brainwashing that you've spent the time committing in this Manosphere space as a leader has literally taken its toll.
Ebo Sosa said to me, there's no emotional abuse. There's only verbal abuse. Doesn't verbal mean using words? Words trigger emotion. So there's only verbal abuse. I can agree to that.
Oh no.
But let's go back into what I was saying, right? So the reason, in my opinion, the reason why you hear so many of them talking about emotional and verbal abuse in this day and age, because men have, oh, see, I stopped talking and now somebody do me a favor. Go ahead and give her an Uber. I've asked her several times to come up and have a conversation with me, and I'm not going to debate with her from the chat room, and she's disrupting the show.
You could just ignore her. But no, you really want to get at that woman's neck. And now you're mad because she won't let you. So boot her out or ignore her. Jesus Christ, bro.
And to be truthfully honest, I'm tired of you twerking in the chat room.
Huh? What? What?
Thank you.
How do you twerk in the chat
Going
room?
back to what I was saying.
Are you just imagining that? You just imagine that woman twerking? Why would you assume she was twerking in the chat room, Doug? Oh my God, bro. These niggas are thirsty.
So the reason why, in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, this is just my humble opinion. This is my humble opinion as the angry man.
Please tell us.
I believe the reason why today they are constantly bringing up verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, every abuse you could think of, is because men have realized that they can't do anything physically aggressive or anything that even looks physically aggressive. So men can't even grab a woman by the wrist, because if he does, that's going to be considered physical abuse. So what
that's actually considered battery. Yeah, it's considered battery, bro. If you grab somebody and it's like in a frame of a domestic issue, it's considered battery. So you don't want to touch someone if you're arguing with them. That you definitely don't want to put hands on them. That's not a good thing, because if the cops get called, you're going to jail. Jasmine Jones, shout out to you for the $20 super chat. He says, Angry Man's arguments rely on faulty framing, and he's intellectually dishonest. Facts. He hasn't arrived to any of his positions on the basis of reading or learning anything. Anything he doesn't like equals feminist. And you see that is the same mentality that you see just festering around the manosphere. Everyone thinks if you're calling out a spade being a spade, it's considered being a feminist. If you're calling out physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse for what it is, it's considered being a feminist, or you're a simp. And that's what we've been reduced down to. And I frankly just find it very, very sad.
Men have done is what men have always done. Men will logically strategize and say, okay, I'm not going to give her the excuse to say that I'm being physically abusive. So men will refrain from anything that even resembles physical anything during a disagreement. They'll keep their hands in their pockets. But the women still need to give the illusion that abuse is going on. So since the men aren't doing anything physical, they have to come up with another version of abuse. So now it's verbal, now it's mental, now it's emotional.
Those are actual medical terms. Women and feminists, them just make emotional abuse up, okay? Psychologists use this all the time. Scientists use this all the time, especially when they're sitting down across from patients. Oh my God, are you actually saying that emotional abuse is a term invented by feminists and women? I can't do this, bro. This is dumb. This is fucking dumb. Oh my God, this nigga is dumb. I'm actually now realizing this nigga might be dumb, bro. Either he's dumb or he's grifting. I can't believe this shit. I can't believe this nigga just... Oh my God. Oh my God! This nigga just said emotional abuse was it's a term made up by women and feminists. Oh my God! This is so... Oh, hey, I gotta mute. I'm sorry, my chest hurt. I gotta mute the chick. I'm gonna just play the video. I gotta mute. Oh my God, this nigga got me crying out here. Oh, I'm crying, bro. Oh my God, dog. I couldn't. I'm so chat. I'm trying to hold it together. I'm trying to. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the video. Oh my God.
Because they have to perpetually be victims. Now, here's my question to all of the women in here. Excuse me, to the women and men. To the women and men in here that believe emotional and verbal and mental abuse exists, I have only one question for you. Why doesn't it exist when the women are doing it?
It does. It does exist when the women do it. And we call it out all the time. Women gaslight.
It's a
they
very
abuse,
simple question.
They do all of that, bruh. Women do it. Hold on, let me catch my breath. Whew. Women do it too. And we call it out. All right? This argument, bruh, is, hold up. God damn, bro, that got me, dog. That for real got me. It's abuse either way, Angry Man. And yes, women are extremely guilty of it too. And we know those females exist out there. We're talking about Crowder right now. And your excuses, your hypothesis, it's crazy, bro. It sounds crazy.
I've seen women stand nose to nose with grown men, cursing them out, calling them every name in the book, saying everything they possibly can to tear down his ego and destroy his self-esteem. And never once does anyone say she is being verbally abusive or emotionally abusive. Why doesn't that exist when the women are engaging in it?
It does. And we call it out more than enough in the Manosphere alone.
I'll tell you why it doesn't exist. Because we live in a world where we like to pretend that it is impossible for women to be abusive.
No one is making that argument. We live in a world where women are equally abusive, probably even worse more often. What narrative are you trying to sell here, bro? You're not even making sense.
We live in a world where we believe that it is impossible for women to be abusive, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's verbal. Doesn't matter.
Stop with these cigars, bro. Your health. Angry Man, your health.
See, if a guy talks trash, he's a patriarchal, abusive man. If a woman talks trash, she's strong, independent, and empowered.
No, she's not. No one calls a woman who sits there and berates a man a strong, empowered woman, aside from toxic women. All right? Even women will find that crazy. All right? And the women who step up and think they can hit men or do whatever that, you deserve what's coming to you, because you can clearly see a lot of these men are not playing with y'all. So we see that now. That's a big thing. But you trying to make this argument to make it seem like, oh no, women are these fair maidens. It may seem like that in media, but if you actually go in the real world, you don't see that behavior a whole lot. You don't see that. That's all TikTok and internet shit. You go in the real world, you don't see that a whole lot. And I say a whole lot because it still happens, but it's not to the frequency that you see on the internet. The internet makes it seem like it's happening a lot because you're getting inundated with a ton of content from all over the world. So it seems like there's more happening than what it actually is happening. Oh, fuck, man. I'm getting exhausted, bro. That just took the wind out of my sails, bro.
Ari Nicole said, it's abusive when women do it. It goes both ways.
Facts. Facts. Just because, listen, the reason why it seems lopsided is because most women don't hold each other accountable as men to the frequency that men do. It's not that we don't see it all the time, because there are women out there that hold other women accountable, but it's not to the frequency as a man will hold another man accountable. That's why, and then I see how that adds to the frustration when a lot of guys see that, because we see it as, hey, we're dudes and we can hold other dudes accountable. Why is it that these women can't hold each other accountable? I completely understand that argument, all right? And it's up to the women to do that, but the women who are doing that now, Pearl, they're grifting. They don't really mean it, okay? Because some of them are the exact same type of women that they're trying to yell at. So it doesn't work that way. But you have a point. A lot of women don't typically hold each other accountable. It is what it is. But does that not mean that it's wrong when it's right when women do it? No. Women, either way, even though they don't see it as they don't hold the other women accountable, they still see that as abusive. Women can be toxic, and they know that themselves. You're making it sound like it's just one-sided thing, which is not. Fuck.
I'm sorry, Ari, but no, it does not go both ways.
Yes,
there isn't
it does.
a single woman out here that has ever been arrested for verbal abuse. But there are plenty of men who have been arrested for verbal abuse. Shout out to Jay Wood. He said women like to push buttons. When they don't get the response they want, they will be verbally abusive to get a response.
Again with the cigars, Brody. You're gonna get sick.
No, it's not that you don't have a voice, Ari. It's not that you don't have a voice. The problem is the women like you, your voice is drowned out by women like that.
Okay, if you're saying women like that, referring to Crowder's wife, you're wrong. But you're right when you're saying that women's voices like Ari, who calls other women out, are drowned out by a lot of these other internet women out here. You're right, and that's what I was just explaining earlier. Women do hold each other accountable, but we don't see a whole lot of that, especially on the internet. You don't see any of that. All right, you don't see that at least to the frequency as men do with each other. All right, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. All right, it's just that we have a lot more of women not holding each other accountable that we see on the internet than what actually happens in reality. So realistically, Angry Man, you're making my point for me. Fred Sir Samson Mayo, shout out to you for the $20 super chat. He says, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will hurt even worse. Yeah, he's right. They listen, you can tear somebody down so hard with the power of your words, it's not even funny. Yeah, words are dangerous. Words can start wars. Just you uttering something stupid can get somebody to start a war. Words are powerful, more powerful than people give credit for.
See, women like that are not going to listen to the logic that's coming out of your mouth because they have to remain in a perpetual state of victimhood. That
kind of sounds like the Manosphere right now.
is where they get their power from.
Tell them, Uber Eats.
That's where they get their power from. In fact, it is a little ridiculous for any of these chicks to be complaining about verbal and mental abuse because they not only engage in that with their significant other, but they also engage in that with their children.
Just because doesn't mean that mental abuse and verbal abuse aren't a thing. They're real. They're a real thing. Oh my God, bro. I'm actually getting exhausted listening to it. We're halfway in here. We're halfway in here. I'm tired. I can't do this. Like, Chad, who sent me this video, man? Why? I can't believe it. I'm burnt. Just listening to this, I am burnt out. Like, this is crazy. Any of y'all feel that way in the chat right now, or is it just me? Am I the only one feeling burnt out? I'm listening to this, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just physically exhausted. I don't know how am I even physically exhausted just listening to this nigga talk? It makes no sense, but I am. I'm feeling it through the screen just watching this dude, bruh. I don't know how that's even possible. Wow.
also engage in that with their children. Every single guy in here can remember a time where their mother was verbally and emotionally abusive. However,
guess what? That means abusive emotionally and verbally exists. But in your last statement, you don't believe it exists. So it only exists when women do it, but it doesn't exist when men do it? Is that the argument you're trying to make? My brain is breaking, bro. I'm about to have an aneurysm for real, chat. For real, chat. I'm about to have an aneurysm, bro. I can't do this. This nigga's contradicting himself at every turn, bro. And this is your king? This is your king? Y'all just sit here and eat this crap up? Where's the logic in any of this? There's no logic here, bruh. This is propaganda. I know when I'm being propagandized, bruh. This is propaganda. This is textbook red pill propaganda at work. There's no other explanation for this.
However, it's not viewed that way when they engage in that. It's not viewed that way. Shout out to Preston. Preston said, that camera clear as shit, OG. What camera is that? That is the Sony Alpha 7 III. Out to Gone Postal. Shout out. Nick said, no doubt, when you better be recording this. See, the messed up thing is Steven Crowder was too comfortable. He should have been recording the interaction. Shout out to James. He said, you're absolutely right.
Recording the interaction. It was already recorded. What more recording do you need? It's already recorded.
It work. Yep.
He caught himself on video.
Shout out to Ebo Sos. He said there's more forms of abuse than insect species nowadays. And just what the hell is financial abuse? Financial abuse is when you as a man don't allow your woman to run amok in your bank account. That's what financial abuse is. Y'all talking about the camera is crispy. It better be crispy. It better be crispy. I spent a couple racks on this mug. It better be super crispy.
Yeah, at least he puts a lot of work in his studio, so you got to give him that. It's just you should be putting more work into the words you're saying than just a flashy camera and a nice studio. You actually need to be making sense when you talk.
Yeah, and look, like my man said, look, Mr. O said, I'm getting a GoPro and wearing it to work. Yeah, they have a vest that you can buy where you can put the GoPro on it like a body cam.
It doesn't matter if he buys a camera or goes and does a GoPro, whatever he wants to call it. In the end of the day, it was still his words. Those words came out of his mouth. What he said to his wife, it came out of his own mouth. What the hell? Oh, that's what that is right there. He said it. He got himself in trouble. No one else did but him. I don't get this, bro. This is actually confusing.
They got a vest that you can buy where you can literally attach the GoPro. They got one for you. They got one a body vest. They got one for your hat. Really want to be honest. If you're a man, you need to have a GoPro. If you're a man, you need to have a GoPro that you can attach to your clothing. You need to have a dash cam on your car. You need to be recording everything, just in case. Shout out to Son Mosey, said new sub, salute, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, y'all are dummies.
You need to be recording everything.
Yeah, and you know what? That's actually one of the smart advice that he's done or given out so far. But yeah, record as much as you can. All right, just cameras will save your life, believe it or not.
This is for the guys.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
hang on.
I'm just gonna. If she loves him, doesn't mean she does. And see, the reality is none of us can really take this one clip from their entire relationship. None of us can really take this one conversation and judge it either way.
But that's what we're all doing, including you, angry man. You're judging her based off this clip. We're judging him based off this clip. We're all judging.
We can't say that he's abusing her. We can't say that he's not abusing her.
We can't say she's abusing him or acting aggressive towards him just because she's standing over him. You see how that doesn't make any sense?
Off of this one clip.
But that's exactly what we're
Because
doing.
the reality is we don't have enough information. But the only problem is the fact that they are using this little bit of information in order to paint the narrative that he is abusive. Well, that's enough information for us to know that some BS is going on. That's enough information for us to know that some BS is going on. And it's typical. It's typical. This is the type of thing that always happens. So we're just supposed to believe that every man is just horrible and the women are saints.
No. But I love you more than I love yourself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than I love yourself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right in that. Become someone that's unique, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No matter what. I didn't say the wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage in work. I'm gonna go. I'll get text me to meet. I'll get you to meet. I love you. I'm committed to you.
She said it again. I love you. I'm committed to you. Who says this in an argument?
Someone who's not trying to argue and clearly is trying to leave. What? Yeah, someone who's not trying to get in an argument because they know if they get in an argument with a narcissist, they're going to lose. They're going to be abused. So she says, I love you, and I'm trying to leave. What person doesn't say that? I've said that when I was in a relationship and we've gotten in an argument and say, hey, baby, I love you, but I'm not sitting here and doing this right now. You need to come back to me when you chill. That's the equivalent of what she's trying to do right now. So does that mean I was abusive? Like, what? Oh, my God, bro. Y'all look crazy. This is nuts. It's your take, Angry Man. Angry Man, your take is wild. And I guess it's kind of hilarious that I'm glad you have this take because it gives us something to cover, right? Because we can see clearly the Manosphere brainwashing at play with people like you. So I'm glad that you have this crazy-ass take. It's just sad that you're convincing over 400,000 men that this is this take right here is the right take to have.
Who says this in an argument? Like, I know gaslighting when I see it. I know BS when I see it. And look, I'm sorry.
You completely missed the gaslighting that Steven Crowder was doing. But yeah, let's just focus on the pregnant women. All right, yeah, I know that woman is being gaslighted. I know it when I see it. You're crazy, Brad. You clearly don't know gaslighting when you see it.
But her being pregnant does not does not make me think that it's not possible for her to be abusive. Like, now she's pulled her shirt back down. Why did she have it pulled up in the first place?
They were in the middle of the argument. She was stressed. Now she's leaving. Shirts go down. She's getting in the house. It's not hot. Shirt goes down.
See, most people won't pay any attention to that.
We all did. You're not the only one.
Most people won't see that.
We all
They'll
saw
look
it.
at that like, oh, that doesn't matter or whatever, right? And I'm looking, look, check this out. I'm looking at this. Look, so he's out back. His dog is chilling. He's chilling. He's got an awning to block out the sun. He's got this gazebo with the ceiling fan. He's got a pool over there. He's got a jacuzzi. Yo, do you know how much he would be living it up if he was just a bachelor? If he was just a bachelor. See, I got to point this out, man. I got to point this out. These chicks have become the bane of existence for these men. The reason she's able to live as well as she's living is because of his career.
So he can't afford 2 cars? You telling me that this provider over here can't afford 2 cars? Really? He's worth $20 million. That's high value. Like, I don't know what else to call it. That is a high value man, all right? Some of y'all not even high value. You got more cars than he does. But just let that sink in, for example. All right, some of y'all who live either a middle-class lifestyle or an upper middle-class lifestyle, you got 2 cars. Some of y'all with families or expecting families, you got 2 cars. Why is a guy who's worth $20 million enough money to turn down a $52 million deal? Why is that guy not having 2 cars in his own household? Just make it make sense. We're going to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to get into the backstory between him and Candace Owens real quick.
Like, I've thought back times, right? Times I've thought back when I was in my 10-year relationship, right? And I think back to those times where I was paying all the...
You were in a 10-year relationship and you've learned nothing from that? That says a lot. Actually, it proves my theory right. A lot of y'all niggas, when y'all get out of these long-term relationships, y'all just come straight to the manosphere with no healing whatsoever. Angry man, it doesn't sound like you... I think you need to go to a therapist. They'll tell you what emotional abuse means. Were you verbally abused in your 10-year marriage? It's okay. You can tell us if you were abused. We know, because right now maybe you're in denial and you're looking at other people's scenarios and you're just in denial of that. Were you verbally, emotionally abused in your 10-year relationship? It seems like there's a lot of flashback going on here. Let us know. Let us know, because to us right now it seems you've learned nothing. You've done no self-searching or anything like that. So much so that I believe if you get into another relationship, the same thing is going to happen. You get me? Yeah?
The bills. And I was still going through goofiness, still going through drama and all that. And now that I'm older and I look back at it, the first thing I say to myself is, I could have been in that place by myself. There would have been no arguing. There would have been no goofiness. There would have been... That's why even now in the relationship that I'm in now, I'm in the relationship because I want to be in the relationship and I love being in the relationship. But I'm here to tell you right now, if me and my wife was arguing all the time, I would not want to be in a relationship.
Cap. And out of respect, I'm not even going to go into the conversation with you and your wife if you're married, because it seems like you're married. I'm not even gonna touch that. I just think it's very, very interesting that you're married, and this is the opinion you come down to. The only thing I'm gonna say is you need to start paying very, very close attention to what you're doing at home, buddy. Because if the attitude you're displaying online is the same way you're displaying at home, it's not. You're gonna go the exact same way Steven Crowder just did. You're gonna be another divorce statistics. It just is what it is.
I wouldn't. Today, nothing in the world is more important to me than peace of mind. You said rewind it back a little bit. Hold on. Let me go back.
Jordan, come on out. I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll get text what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not
Are you committed enough to do those things?
You notice the only time he's about to get up is when she leaves. He doesn't want her to leave. That's the whole point of a controlling narcissist. He doesn't want her to leave. While she's sitting there or standing there getting berated by him, he's all cool and comfortable smoking a cigar. But when she leaves, it's the only time he gets motivated up of his ass.
You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you and committed to that. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? I'm gonna just walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication as well? No, you take that.
Now, the end of the video says when he goes inside, he gets angrier and he says, "I'll F you up." Where's the sound for that? Where's the sound bite for that?
Probably no indoor camera. That's why none of us believe that statement.
Where's the sound bite for that? He asked her, I heard something about medication. Did he ask her if she was going to take her medication?
I drew a boundary.
Hold on.
I love you.
The medication is not for her, it's for the dog. The dog has a illness, and the medication could be potentially harmful to the child. Y'all don't do research at all.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you and committed to that. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? I'm gonna just walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication as well? No, you take that. The medication as well. Committed enough to get the medication as well. You committed enough to.
He said, walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication?
For the dogs.
He said, are you committed enough to get the medication?
For the dogs.
And here's the thing. He was talking lower, too. Why was he talking lower?
Because his voice was a lot more intense. He stood up, and he was a lot more intense than he was when he was sitting down. That's why it's lower. I can't do any more of this, bro. This nigga's stressing me out. I can't. Let's look at the Forbes article that explains the beef between him and Candace Owens. All right. Oh, what the hell? Let me share this tab. All right. So here it is. We'll read this, and then I want to play the video Kenzie Stars recommended that broke down the illness the woman has. So maybe he was talking about the woman. The messy feud between Steven Crowder and Candace Owens. Let's read. Let's see here. The right-wing culture warriors Candace Owens and Steven Crowder are in the midst of a bit of feud. There is a beef going on between those two, sparked by a video in which Crowder announced that his wife was divorcing him, implying that Owens had crossed the line by publicly hinting at his marriage troubles. Again, this whole beef came after Steven Crowder came at the Daily Wire and tried to blame the situation on not only Candace Owens for already talking to his wife about this, but on a lot of these guys at the Daily Wire as well. But let's continue. We don't need to know who Steven Crowder is. We know exactly who to do this. Like Candace Owens, Crowder identifies as a conservative Christian. The two content creators seem ideologically aligned, but began feuding back in January after Crowder turned down a $50 million deal to join the Daily Wire, which he described as a slave contract. Huh? Wait a minute. I didn't read that right. Hold on. I did not read that right. After Crowder turned down a $50 million deal to join the Daily Wire, which he described as a slave contract. Hold up. Let me read that one more time. $50 million deal to join the Daily Wire, which he described as a slave contract. How many of y'all know slaves making $50 million? Does anybody know any slaves making $50 million? Are you even a slave at $50 million? How is that what? Whoa! Steven, calm that down. Crowder went on to accuse the company of engaging in big tech censorship in a video which sparked intense feud with Ben Shapiro. Let me see if that would do anything here. There's that the video, Ben Shapiro video here? No, they don't. Let me go back. So, hold up. the co-founder of the Daily Wire. So Ben Shapiro is the owner. Candace Owens enters the ring. So Owens, who is employed by the Daily Wire, denounced Crowder's video as a total bitch move. We all know he's a bitch, and inserted herself into the feud by releasing a video where she repeatedly hints that she knows of something embarrassing in Crowder's personal life, stating that his actions are a symptom of something much larger. Steven has a lot going on. I guess it's the best way to say it. Owens went on to urge her audience to pray for Crowder. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need scripture. Stephen purports to be a Christian, and I believe that he needs to lean onto his faith, and I am certain that in the near future, more information will come out. And then we had the video. Crowder's divorce. On Tuesday, Crowder released a video announcing that he's been going through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce since 2021. The video sparked shock and mockery on Twitter as Crowder repeatedly implies that he is upset that Texas law allows his wife to divorce him without his consent. That sounds like it's controlling, bro. After what we just saw, yeah, bro. Like we need women to have the right to vote, and this is not on some feminist shit. They need the rights to vote. They do. Like after seeing all this, it makes so much sense. She simply wanted out, and the law says that's how it works, Crowder said. One thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own. I picked wrong. So here it is, throwing the shots. Before the video was released, he was already throwing shots at her. I picked wrong. It's my fault, right? And then Bradford, if you really listen to Crowder talk about his divorce, the thing that makes him the most angry is that his wife can legally divorce him without his permission. Facts. That's a sign of a control freak. Actually, the video's right here. The video's right here.
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period.
This is a dog whistle.
So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys.
Now he's saying, pay attention, he's using private. We want to keep it private. This is all before that video came out. Mind you, the reason why he did this video, because Candace Owens was literally in her little tweets was taunting him, saying, I know about your divorce. We got info. You're a shithole. That's literally what Candace Owens was doing. So in order to get ahead of it, he came out with this video. And to be honest, this was the first video I saw because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And when you watch this video before the context came out, you can see how easy it is for people to be on Crowder's side, because here's a guy who believes in the traditional Christian values, and here's his wife divorcing him, and, you know, it's a no-fault divorce, and, you know, we hear this sort of story all the time, women just leaving men for no reason, right? That's the story he's trying to paint, right? It wasn't until Candace dropped the video exposing that Ring camera is when we realized that this whole video was bullshit. It was just to get ahead of the story. So that's proper context right here. Let's keep watching.
What have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long.
He's hinting on the privacy aspect. Pay attention.
Many other people knew about this
Candace Owens.
behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private.
Now he's hiding behind his kids. But I tell you, this video, he knew that Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, they all knew what was going on behind the scenes. So he's trying to get ahead of it by hiding behind his kids. This is crazy.
So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Stephen has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Well, my children have a right to privacy. Now,
Nah, nigga. It wasn't your kids in that video. It was all you, bruh. It was all you. You said every single word out of your mouth on that Ring camera. It wasn't your kids, so stop hiding behind your kids. Listen, after we saw the video that dropped, it makes his initial video even more sickening.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time.
It is. It is publicly embarrassing. After watching the video, it's bad.
That it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look.
Good, because you're a psycho.
I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my...
Y'all saw that backwards bullshit he just tried to pull? It's no one's fault but my own because I picked wrong. Bruh, we saw the video. It just makes this more pathetic than what it is.
My children. And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud.
As he's dragging the mother through the mud.
And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them.
Sure.
I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more than full confidence.
Yeah.
So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy in what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
What he didn't realize is it absolutely went further than that. So much so that you are now being a public pariah. Your own fans hate you for what you did. Crowder then turned his attention to other people in the positions of power. He's talking about Candace Owens. All right, they break down this video. He says, I thought if you've seen, this tweet says, if you thought Steven Crowder's story couldn't get any stranger, Candace Owens reveals that he was dropping into her Instagram replies. There's something about me you're hyper-focused on. She's now inviting his ex-wife to come on her show and set the record straight. What is this video about? Let's see what this...
Familiar with the idea of extortion?
We already watched this. Right.
All my children have a right to privacy.
He even sent me a retrospectively very flirty message thereafter on Instagram about how nice I looked on election night, even though I didn't respond to it. Hillary.
Oh, Crowder wants a little bit of chocolate in him, don't it? Hey, I ain't gonna cap, bro. Candace Owens kind of cute. Say what you want about Candace Owens, bro. And I've been clowning her ass, but she kind of cute, bro. So, hey, listen, Crowder, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. She's into white guys. I hope you know that. She likes white guys. So you're a shoo-in. You're the perfect candidate.
Crowder's Instagram account, and I looked to see, and it turned out that she didn't follow Steven Crowder, and that Steven Crowder didn't follow her. He didn't follow anybody in her family, and she wasn't following anybody in his family. That was my aha moment. Clearly, there was some sort of a separation. Now, I will not take that lightly, okay? I am not Hillary Crowder. I am not anybody in his family. I am not going to take somebody going onto his platform and alleging that I either harassed, threatened, or did anything that would put his children at risk. That is very serious stuff that he is saying. And so what I did this morning after this clip was sent to me is I contacted a defamation lawyer, and I am sending Steven Crowder a cease and desist. And I'm going to demand a full-throated retraction to the idea that Candace Owens threatened him or
pause. She said a full-throated retraction. Pause. Okay, she means business, bro.
Extorted him. And it seems to me, Steven, that you really, for whatever reason, want to insert me into this narrative. Like there is just something about me that you are hyper-focused on.
To be fair, Candace, you kind of inserted yourself into this, but I digress. Let's continue.
And so I want to help you a bit. And really, I want to help your wife because you essentially just used your platform. Millions of people have access to your platform. She doesn't have the same, to insult her. You picked the wrong woman, okay? So here's what I would like to do. I would like to invite Hillary Crowder onto my platform because she doesn't have one and because her ex-husband apparently just used his to insult her, to say that he picked the wrong woman. I find that to be really despicable. So Hillary Crowder, if you are watching, you are more than welcome to come on my show and to talk about what's actually going on.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, is there more videos on this? What is going on, bro? This is crazy. What is this? What the hell is this? What? Is there more tweets? Oh, that's it. That's crazy. That's the guy that wrote the article. That is crazy. Let me get to Kidology's video on Steven Crowder's wife's illnesses that she's facing.
Let me just go to my default quickly. I think it's so important to actually just...
I ain't gonna lie, she cute too. Kidology, who is this woman? hey, she kind of cute, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Like, oh God.
I think it's so important to actually just find information, which you can find. There's a Facebook page. Steven Crowder posted about this in I believe it was 2020 when his wife, in June of 2020, Hillary was in hospital and he posted a picture of her in hospital and posted about the syndrome which she suffers from, which is incredibly serious and actually can be fatal for many people. And this was actually posted on a Gillian Barr Facebook page in 2021, saying Stephen Crowder's wife, Hillary Crowder, 34, previously known as Hillary Corzine, or now so unknown. Last year, he shared photos of his wife in hospital and later explained that she suffers from Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS. And then it just explains everything about them and their life or whatever. So I think that this is very...
Hey, yo, I like her nose, bro. She got a cute nose. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know if I'm paying attention to what she's actually saying. I'm kind of just like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Every once in a while, you get that girl that'll do it for you. And you already know. I can't help it, bro.
Very important to consider that this isn't just a high-risk pregnancy. This is a woman who suffers from a very, very serious syndrome.
What is this?
And this is from the National Health Service in the UK, so a reputable source, which basically says that Guillain-Barré, I can't pronounce it, syndrome or GBS is a very rare and serious condition that affects the nerves. It mainly affects the feet, the hands, limbs, causing problems such as numbness, weakness, and pain. It can be treated, and most people will eventually make a full recovery, although it can occasionally be life-threatening, and some people are left with long-term problems. GBS affects people of all ages, but it is more common in adults and in males. So she has a very rare syndrome, right? And the symptoms often start in your feet and hands before spreading to your arms and legs. At first, you may have numbness, pins and needles, muscle weakness, pain, problems with balance and coordination. These symptoms may continue to get worse over the next few days or weeks before they start to slowly improve.
Crazy. So these symptoms, so they get worse. So you get numbness, pains and needles, muscle weakness, problems with balance and coordination. And this nigga had her standing on her feet while he berated her. This is crazy, bruh. Wow, that even makes him look worse.
Cases, you may have difficulty moving, walking, breathing, and swallowing. It actually has resulted, as I was doing some little snooping and research, just looking at a YouTube video on it, sort of just talking about understanding it and reading the comment section. These comments are absolutely heartbreaking in terms of what this syndrome can do to you. I mean, this person says, my beautiful wife, Beth, was first diagnosed with GBS back in early 2018 and is currently in a nursing home. She has improved drastically during this time, but she still can't walk. And it's just so heartbreaking reading these stories about people. My sister was 16 in 1977 and she passed away from complications of GBS. So just for context, and this is something that you can find on Stephen Crowder's own his own Instagram, of a picture that he posted of Hillary with a post all about it, and on this Facebook group because he posted it on Facebook as well. His wife has a serious condition and is suffering from this syndrome, GBS, so rare and serious, and this is how he's treating her. It's outrageous. It's terrible. And then apparently the pregnancy doesn't matter. If you're pregnant and you've suffered from this, it's crazy. I really just think that this is
all right, that's enough, beautiful. All right, let's we really just pause it right there. And it is actually just disgusting, bro, to even see something like that. So she's got that. So that's probably the medicine he was talking about in that other video, right? Because if she's walking a dog or something like that, she might be sick. Now, this is crazy. Like, a lot of this stuff just doesn't add up. And for someone like Stephen Crowder, who promotes this, traditional Christian values, and you see him treating his wife this way, it's honestly just sad. It's sad to see. It's sad to see all of this. That's why you got to be paying attention to people you listen to on the internet, because you just might never know. You might never know. And it's just sad to see that. But it is what it is, guys. I just had to cover this because I absolutely found Angry Man's take on this whole situation just completely ludicrous, right? I just think it was just dumb. And the fact that they tried to spin all of this to put the blame on the woman, it just shows what's going on here. I mean, that's what the manosphere is all about nowadays, just women blaming and no accountability for men. Even though this is supposed to be the space where we're supposed to hold men accountable, we're not doing that. It seems like we're doing the opposite of that, and we're just going gung-ho against the women. It doesn't matter, and we just absolve the men of all of their sins. You heard Angry Man say it himself. Oh yeah, you tell me something that Steven Crowder did wrong in that video. I didn't see anything he did wrong in that video. Bruh, you sound crazy. That's just what it is, bro. You sound crazy. So I had to cover it. I saw it, I had to cover it. But guys, listen, shout out. Oh, Aya says the medicine was, okay, so I was right. The medicine was for the what was for the dog. Okay. That's what Antonio. Hey, no. How did you know I was gonna do that tonight? Come on now. Nah, she cute. Listen. Hey, listen. All right, I'm a man. I can't help it. Okay, if I see a beautiful girl, I gotta, this is what it is. I gotta say what's up. Like, hey. Who has not done the same thing? Cast the first stone. All right, come on now, like guys out there. If you tell me you don't see a beautiful woman walking around, you're not gonna holler and say what's up. Come on now, y'all gonna sit there and say, come on, bro, that's a beautiful woman. I mean, come on, she got that cute button nose, those nice little eyes, and this beautiful skin tone. I mean, she's just an overall attractive woman. So I don't know. I might find something. I don't know. But I would tell you this, hell of a lot better looking than Pearl. That was beat her big Pearl by miles. Like, listen, Pearl, yeah, she look like she'll probably get a man before you do. You know what I find interesting about this whole Pearl thing? I think that Pearl secretly is jealous of women, hot women that look good. Do y'all have that same thought process? Just the way she goes at some of these women, right? I just somehow think that she may actually have this internal vendetta against good-looking chicks, right? She's got a problem with that because she herself feels deep down she might not be as pretty as the other girls. I don't know if that's just a hypothesis, but the way she goes in on this whole modern women trope, there's almost a little flair of like just a personal vendetta added to it. So I don't know if that's an actual thing or what it is, but Pearl, you need to get yourself together, all right? You coming out on these podcasts looking reckless, your hair's not done, your nails are not done, your makeup's not done, you're just looking horrendous, your outfit just mismatching, you don't even know the right outfit for your own body, which is ridiculous. So listen, before you come out here going at all these other women talking about they unruly, they are nothing but traditional 304s, modern women, whatever it is, you need to take a good long look in the mirror, because you are exactly the type of women you're railing against, and I just find that hypocritical. But that's all I gotta say about Pearl. I just find it interesting that she goes so hard against women, but she's the exact same type of modern women. If anything, I think that if Pearl was hotter, she'd probably do exactly what these modern women are doing anyways. Like who? Like, I think that's what she would be doing, honestly, bro. If she was hotter, that's what Pearl would be doing. She'd be on this carousel riding, hands down. There was a video where she was talking about, I would hop the carousel, but ain't nobody approaching me for doing it. I don't know. I would hop that carousel though if a dude just let me hit. All you gotta do is just let me hit. Why won't y'all niggas let me hit? Pause. Hold up. Hey, that sounded weird. Hold up. I can't. Hey. Whoa. Pause. But y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? I can't believe I just said that. But hey, listen, bro. I think either we know Pearl's grifting, but I think that like that grift has turned into like a personal hatred for hot women because she herself is not good looking. And listen, it's not because. Okay, maybe it's the way you're kind of shaped, but like realistically, I think it's because you come out and you don't take care of yourself. I mean, your weight's all over the place, your hair's all over the place, you can't even get your makeup done, your nails done, even little things that can improve your looks, you don't do any of that. You just come out all haggard and crazy. Like, what's up with that? Like, you're not taking care of yourself. You're basically the equivalent of somebody coming in and wearing a hairnet or a bonnet or something, right? That's what it is. You need to, if you're gonna preach at these modern women to hold up their image, you need to be the picture perfect image too. Like that's just all I see about that. But she's capping. A lot of the shit that she does is just for the birds, man. That's what she is, right? But I think realistically, I think some dudes in the manosphere would hit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm actually the more I look at like Obsidian channels and some of these other dudes who are going hard in the paint for Pearl, like. I think they would actually hit. Like if Pearl like, what is that thing that Kevin Samuel says? Like, what would you rate yourself out of the shower? You know, no clothes on, right? I think these niggas will hit, bro. Like, I'm not lying. Like, the way they talk about this woman, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them would just secretly be like, hey, yo, Pearl, you know, just say when. Just say when, and we're going to be up in there. Hey, yo, man. Hey, guys, listen, that's all I got for you today. I just saw that, and I found it ridiculous. Stay tuned for, I don't know if I'm going to do a show tomorrow. Actually, I may not do it tomorrow. I'm going to do a show Wednesday. Either tomorrow or Wednesday. No. Yeah, I think Wednesday would be good. Just because I got a trip later coming up later this week, so I'll be out of town. I'll be in DC. I got a project that I got to work on over there, so it's going to be incredibly important. But when I get back, I think that I'll do a show right before I leave, but then I'll get back like next week or something like that, so we can do another video, or I'll probably have another live stream. I'll probably do one from the hotel. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, the Wi-Fi and shit. I don't want to deal with all that nonsense. So we might. I might have a couple more shows, like either preset or whatever it is. But guys, that's what's gonna be coming up next. Those guys who came to my other channel, the New World Order, shout out to you. All right, we had a great discussion on the Sudanese conflict. So it seemed like you guys really enjoyed that. So we're gonna actually do a little bit more, and I'm gonna do my best to try to keep my upkeep on the shows and channels and whatnot. So shout out to you guys for being there. Again, guys, I know I don't promote a lot, but I do have another channel. The link is in the description. New World Order, all right? So we don't only just fry these Manosphere clowns, but we talk about a lot more important things too as well. And yes, we will have another coding video coming up soon. I know it's been a while since we've done one. This time we're gonna just do a little bit of JavaScript, all right? Because I think last time we worked on Python, so we're gonna do a little bit of JavaScript. And with JavaScript, we're actually good. It's gonna be a little bit more intense, because we're gonna also talk about CSS and the HTML too. Because realistically, you can't really learn about JavaScript without really knowing about HTML, at least a little bit about HTML and CSS, right? Cascading style sheets. So you need to know a little bit about those situations before you can fully understand what JavaScript really does, right? Because if you can think about it, HTML is kind of like the different elements that you would see that you can put into a web page that goes into a website, right? And CSS, the cascading style sheets, is a way it looks, how it's styled, right? It looks when you see a button do crazy things, there's a way you can make that button do whatever you want, right? That's CSS, all right? But to make the button actually function, you need Java. So all of that just works in a nice little beautiful pod where you can make just about anything that you want. You can make websites. Hell, you can even turn those websites into web apps. That, like, literally, if you know Java, like, the sky is your freaking limit at that point. And literally, that's going to be the baseline to learn a lot more languages or programming languages further on. And yeah, most people don't know I'm into programming, which I am. So I think Java is very important. We got to go check that out. So definitely, if that's something you're interested in, all right, if you want to take a break from clowning Manosphere people, join me on the New World Order, because I'm going to teach you all of those skills for free, all right? And you can use those apps. You can put it on your resume. You can send it to your employer or whatever it is, all right? Get you a job, or get your head start in web design or whatever it is, all right? It's all free, all right? You don't have to pay for any courses or anything like that, all right? Even on this channel, you don't have to pay me to expose anybody, all right? I just do my video because I like doing my thing, all right? I'm not gonna create a website so you can vote with your dollars on who to expose, because that's grifting. That's grifting. All right, you hear me? Yeah, you get me, yeah? When you're charging people to do a video that you should have been doing because you're in the space meant to expose people, you're grifting. You've officially turned this whole thing into a grift. So congratulations to you and everybody who's paying you to expose people, because they could have just been getting that knowledge for free. You just turned this shit into a grift. It's sad, but y'all already know when y'all come here, no grifting, none of that bullshit. I really actually want you guys to get some kind of skill to help you guys advance. So join me on the New World Order channel. Subscribe to this channel if you love the drama, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.